is the top commodity. Generations of blue-collar Americans have poured their heart and soul into the heartland. It's the same work ethic that makes up the series that will race here today. Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. Johnny Sauter loves racing in the Midwest, but last year's champ still trying to find victory lane. The guy who stood in at first this year hasn't been back since. Meanwhile, momentum has been spelled with double A's. Leading the field into Iowa, the man they call the Onion. In the small town of Newton, just off Interstate 80, sits the crown jewel of racing in the Hawkeye State, the Iowa Speedway, located about 40 miles east of Iowa's capital city. Today, it's the Capital Show, a Sunday afternoon special. Polaris presents The Setup, and you have a front row seat. It's good to be home. Hello, everyone. I'm Krista Voda. Welcome to The Setup. Okay, I know I'm biased. I love this race because it's my home state. The drivers love it because the racing is just so good, and the fans are going to love it today because a black number 3 will lead the field to green. We'll have all those stories coming up, but weather has also been a story. It was absolutely beautiful here Friday and Saturday. Today, we've been dodging a little bit of Mother Nature's results, but right now, things are starting to clear out. The sun coming out, the track is dry, so we are going to go racing. Well, regardless of what the weather brings, we can almost guarantee you that things are going to get pretty squirrely. Why? Because these drivers have been off for 3 weeks. They have been caged up like wild animals. So to get you caught up, let's take a look back at everything that's happened, the highlights of our 9 races so far this year.
Coordinates in the wall. He'll take Carmichael with him.
Look at the damage to our champion.
Todd got hit, went high, but Step kept his foot in the gas.
Timothy Peters is going to win at Daytona.
Ron Hornaday Jr. breaks loose and slams the outside wall.
Trouble in turn number 2. It's going to be crafted in Bodine.
Kevin Harvick, 7th career win in the Camping World Truck Series.
Hornaday got into the back of Johnny Sauter, turned him sideways, slipped underneath.
Harvick will win at Martinsville again. Sauter not happy at all.
Here at Nashville, Kyle Busch is heading to victory lane. It is win number 17.
Sauter keeps it going straight. They both stay at 7. They stay 1 and 2.
Congratulations, boys. That's how you win races.
The 51 is going to win in the Camping World Truck Series.
It's working, man. I'm so excited. Hopefully we're good to go on gas. After last week's episode, you never do know, though.
All he can see is the checkered flags. He wins at Charlotte. The 30 of Todd Bodine wins 6 times at Texas.
You guys are the baby. How about it? Almirola Bodine still there. 3 wide for the lead here in Michigan.
Almirola hold him on.
There you go.
Eric Almirola will win in Michigan.
Good stuff. We are not even halfway through the season yet. Here are the highlights so far. Bodine, the points leader. Hornaday is winless. Kyle Busch scored his first wins as an owner, and the guy who took over for his old ride, Eric Almirola, also a 2-time winner. He claimed his first in Dover. Austin Dillon is leading the rookie battle. Now, Austin Dillon is just outside the top 10 in points. Here are the guys he's chasing. Matt Crafton fell 3 positions. Carmichael, Starr, and White each benefit from his slide. The top 6 all stayed the same following our last race in Michigan. Now, Almirola closed the gap a little bit, but it's still Todd Bodine up front. Ray Dunlap is with our points leader.
Todd Bodine and I were joking around during practice, the 30 truck at the top of the board, and you said I better take a picture of that because it's not very often that we see it.
Yeah, a short track, that's not our strong suit, to say the least. We've always run well. We're never at the top of the board. We're always 5th or 6th or 7th, and we end up qualifying 9th, so that's pretty standard for us at a short track. But we had a really good tundra in practice. We came here, last year we were terrible here, absolutely horrible, and we came here with a totally different mindset, totally different kind of a setup, and it worked. We went to Gresham last week and tested it and learned a lot. Came here with the same deal, and it was working. So we got a good truck. It's good on old tires. That's the key, is you got to be fast on them old tires, and we are. So hopefully we can keep that Tundra up front.
So far this year, Martinsville, the only track where Todd Bodine has not posted a top 5.
Okay, Eric Almirola, you come in here second points, 55 points behind Todd Bodine. You got 2 wins this year. You finished second in this race last year, and you qualify second.
Yeah.
Now, what's it going to take to go back-to-back with wins?
To not finish second again. Yeah, we got a really good truck. It surprised me in qualifying. We didn't think we were that good in qualifying, but in race trim, it seems to be really good. It stays consistent for a long time. So just really proud of Billy Blue Motorsports, Richie Waters, all the guys on our Graceway Pharmaceuticals Toyota Tundra this weekend. We came to the racetrack with a science experiment, and we wasted a lot of the first practice, but we worked really hard. All the guys worked their butts off in that second practice, and we got a really good truck. So we felt like we've learned a lot over the last 3 weeks that we've had off. Those guys didn't take vacation or do anything like that. They worked really hard to make our program better, to try and stay ahead of the competition, and hopefully it'll pay off today.
Krista, to tell you how well thought of this guy is in the industry, Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon have both turned to him as potential relief drivers while they were on baby watch.
Yeah, that's impressive. Also impressive the fact that Phil Parsons was in Chicago at the Cup race last night and here in Newton, Iowa today. Someone, of course, who's looking for an impressive run would be Matt Crafton. He has been shaking his head all season long. That's because at this time last year, he held Todd Bodine's #1 points position. But as you saw when we showed you the points, he's now just clinging to stay into the top 10. What a difference a year makes.
This is the opportunity that Matt Crafton's been waiting for.
You just don't seem to think about Matt Crafton week in and week out, but you know what? He's always there, knocking on the door.
Here comes the 88 of Crafton.
Matt Crafton's not done yet.
No surprise to see Matt Crafton gaining ground on the front.
Matt Crafton leading the points by 39.
Crafton believes they're better than that.
If Matt Crafton is going to win this championship, he's doing just what he needs to do right now.
What an incredibly consistent year Matt Crafton has had.
Crafton's truck out of shape in the middle groove.
He really felt like they had a truck that could win today.
I mean, I fought loose pretty much all day long. These guys are working hard on it and get back out there and gather some points.
We see a lot of damage to the front of the 88 truck.
Some severe point ramifications for Matt Crafton. Matt Crafton's had so much trouble tonight, and right there, there's nothing he could do. The truck inside of him had a problem with the right front. It just drove Crafton straight into the outside wall.
Matt Crafton up in smoke, and the engine sounds very ill.
He was leading the points after 8 races a year ago. Tough year for Matt Crafton so far.
Yeah, you can really tell the difference just 1 year. I mean, top 10s, there you see the average finish, the points position, but also, as you saw in that piece, just the fact laps completed. I mean, it has just been a crazy year, a confusing year for Matt Crafton. Ray Dunlap is with him.
Well, and Krista, let's find out right from the source. You're 10th in points right now. In this championship or out?
I don't think, I mean, we're still in it. I mean, we've had a horrible 10 races and got ourselves this far back. I mean, never know. I mean, they can always have a bad 10 races, bad 15 races, whatever we have left. And we're just not going into points race. We're going in to win races. I mean, contend each and every week. And we've contended every week, but we have had the worst luck. I can't remember having a race season this bad. But this Menard Chevy, these guys brought a brand new truck this weekend that they worked on, the first one we brought all year, and the thing was really good in race trim. And when we qualified, it was just sideways loose. So I think we got something really good to race. And I know this rain washed off a lot of the rubber, so it's going to be a little bit of rolling the dice here at the beginning, but I'm sure as the track rubbers up, that Menard Chevy will go up front.
All right, we wish you good luck. Matt Crafton ran the ARCA race here at Iowa Speedway last night. He's ready to go today.
All right, thanks, Ray. Yeah, we're just getting started here on the setup. Still to come, we know our drivers have a lead foot on weekends, but what happens when they get home? We'll ask them about speeding tickets. That should be fun. Plus, Mike Skinner is batting 1,000 here in Iowa, but he hasn't won yet this year. So can he recapture some of his Midwest magic? And this track was the site of his very first Truck Series race. What has he learned since that race here a year ago? We will sit down with pole sitter Austin Dillon and wait till you see some of the video we found. You will only see it right here on The Setup. The Setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Camping World. Visit campingworld.com and shop over 8,000 RV and outdoor products from the comfort of your recliner. And by top-rated New Finish, tough enough to be called the once-a-year car polish. Here at the Iowa Speedway, I am pretty confident in saying no other area or state supports NASCAR more than Iowa. Sure, I'm biased, but check this out. Today, the track opened the inner gates for all of its season ticket holders. Fans got to go inside the garage. They met Richard Childress. They got autographs, even getting a glimpse of some of their favorite drivers. Pretty impressive indeed. Ricky Carmichael actually told me he meets a lot of motocross fans out here as well. Mike Skinner said there is nothing like the fans in the state of Iowa. There they go. They're coming in as the sun is now out. We are going to go racing. They had a great crowd here last night for the ARCA Series race. We expect more of the same here at the Iowa Speedway. Welcome back to the setup from Iowa. You know, when drivers are paid and make a living to go really fast, well, how do they pull back the reins when they get home and hit the city streets? Well, the guys and girls in this series don't. Now, we do not encourage speeding, but we do get a lot of entertainment out of it, especially when we asked our drivers about their checkered driving past.
Oh. Oh gosh, we're not gonna go there.
I've never got any speeding tickets. My insurance company might be watching.
Too many. I know a lot of people say that or whatever, but I still remember this was years ago that I had lost count after 16.
I don't know. I don't have enough fingers, toes, hands to honestly tell you. I mean, way too many.
I've gotten 4 or 5 speeding tickets. I was always pretty good for at least 1 speeding ticket a year, but knock on wood, I've been pretty good for a few years.
Oh my gosh, I get them all the time now. Like, I went years without getting them, and now I'm like averaging 1 a month.
Fortunately, there's a lot of great troopers out there that are race fans and a little lenient on me.
You know what? It's been a long time, knock on wood. I mean, I think my last one was when I was like 20 years old.
I take real pride in that. I haven't gotten a speeding ticket yet. I beat my little brother. He actually got his first a few weeks ago, so I was excited that I made it longer than he did.
I've only had 2, so it's not too bad, but it really slowed me down. I can't afford to pay all their speeding tickets.
I have 7 of them currently over the last 2.5 years. The best one being at 99 and 65, coming home from Toledo race.
You get into a street car, you get into it, and after you're going 150 miles an hour, and you get into it and you got to drive 55, 65, and it feels like you're crawling. I've gotten better just because I've made myself, after race, I always set my cruise control.
Cruise control might be something Phil might want to look into. Our Truck Series broadcast crew, not without fault. Phil, does that say 50+ tickets? That's unbelievable. Now, Rick got 2 tickets within 1 mile, so the same day, I actually got out of 2 tickets on the same day, and Ray Dunlap was ticketed on the Autobahn in Europe for going too slow. Ray?
That's hard to explain, Krista, but it is possible to go too slow when you're in Germany, but not too slow for this guy. A very fast race truck, Brian, a great qualifying effort, but I'm wondering about your experience at this track. Can that be a big favor for you today?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we've run here in the West Cars, East Cars, ARCA. We're in a nationwide race here, but we've got a really fast Toyota today. We've got Eric Phillips sitting on the pit box. He definitely knows how to crew chief a truck around here, so we're looking for a good day.
Okay, good luck to you. Brand new chassis for Brian Eichler. Now let's check in with another guy who qualified well. He's standing with Phil.
Greg Pursley, you're a perfect example of the ladder system of NASCAR working. 2004, you were the National Weekly Racing Series champion. Last year, you went over to the K&N Pro Series, finished 3rd in points there, and now you're making your truck debut, and you qualify 6th. How can you be so competitive so quick?
We're just really happy. Kevin Harvick Inc. sold us a really good truck, and we have ECR engines, and have a great crew chief in Jerry Pitts, and we came over here, we've raced a bunch here, so we know the track, and that helps a lot. So the object today is finish all 200 laps and hopefully finish up front and learn a lot today.
Greg had a great run going in the K&N Pro Series West Division race at Irwindale, leading the race, cut a tire down, made contact with a wall, 10th in points this year in the K&N Pro Series.
Thanks, Phil. Proof that development system is actually working here in NASCAR. Great to see Greg in our field today. You know, I mentioned this last year, but I think it warrants mentioning again. Our entire broadcast crew, our on-air team, all hailing from the Midwest. Okay, I know it's Iowa for me. Ray is Ohio. Adam's not here, but he covers Indiana. And then, of course, Phil is a Michigan guy. Upstairs today, we have Rick Allen, Nebraska, and the most recent winning car owner, let me get this, in the Sprint Cup Series, David Rudemann's win last night. Michael Waltrip, I know it's the bluegrass, you're from Kentucky, but that's blue collar, so Midwestern values in full force.
and we had a lot of fun last night. We were calling the ARCA race. We were trying to call the ARCA race, and actually Michael was focused a little bit more on what was happening in Chicago. Now, we showed earlier 9 races that started this season off. What is it going to take for these guys to win this championship for the remainder of the season?
Well, up until Michigan, we had run 9 races. These guys have had a month off. They're getting ready to get busy, though. We're going to run 9 races in a row, and 7 of those races come in less than 7 weeks, including a Wednesday night show at Bristol Motor Speedway. So things are going to get serious. When we left Michigan last year, Ron Hornaday went on a roll. He was 39 points behind Matt Crafton. He won 5 races in a row, got up 216 points, and never looked back. There's guys that are in that exact shape right now. They need to get on a roll like that over these next 5 races to try to do something about Todd Bodine. He's had top 5s in 5 of the last 6 races. He is solid, so it's going to take a strong team to be able to do anything with Todd this year.
And Todd Bodine is one of the names that are mentioned in the garage as far as who is strong here at Iowa today. Krista?
All right, thanks, guys. It's going to be a great race indeed. And as I said, I know I'm biased, but this is just such a fun track. It's a little under a mile. We've only been to 2 short tracks this season, Martinsville, the only other. And we're going to get Phil back upstairs into the booth soon, but we still have a lot more to come here on the setup. As we go to break, let's give a thumbs up for some performances 3 weeks ago in Michigan, including Stacy Compton finishing 11th, his best finish since Nashville in April. What about Jason White? He has been climbing the charts. In fact, his 7th place finish at Michigan has him up to 7th in points. Impressive indeed. All right, Austin Dillon, he is knocking on the door of his first win. 2 poles in a row. Nope, 3 if you count today, and 2 straight top 5s. Impressive indeed. David Starr has finished top 5 in 4 of our last 5 races.
Michigan was a great race. Even though it starts off ugly, it don't mean it's going to finish ugly, and it just says a lot. It's a testimony for how well this team, we don't ever give up. We always fight to the end. It's not what we wanted, but it's a lot better a top 10 than it would have been a lap down finishing 20-something. So the kudos and the thumbs up goes out to my team. They did a great job.
The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. And brought to you in part by Damp Rid, because the key to mold control is moisture control. Control them both with Damp Rid Easy. It's been a big weekend here at the Iowa Speedway for one family, the Dillons. That's Austin Dillon in the number 3 truck, claiming the pole for today's race. That happened yesterday. Also happening yesterday, his brother Ty in the ARCA race, well, he captured the pole as well. So it was not 1, but 2 Dillons on the pole on Saturday's qualifying here at the Iowa Speedway. That is so cool to see. And as we told you earlier, Austin Dillon, 3 consecutive Truck Series pole. Ty Dillon, he actually went on to finish 2nd in the ARCA race, which was also seen on Speed. And right now, the driver's getting introduced. There you see Austin Dillon getting a ride around in a truck as fans say hello. He is definitely a fan favorite, making his very first Truck Series start in this race last year. Welcome back to the setup presented by Polaris. I'm Krista Voda. And yeah, you know, a lot of the guys, the big guys like Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, well, they raced last night, so they are doing today exactly what you are doing. They are going to be watching this race. Richard Childress, grandfather of Austin and Ty Dillon, he actually flew here to be able to watch Austin today. So far, so good. As we said, Austin on the pole. Here's a little bit inside look at Austin Dillon.
I actually thought at first I was going to be a Major League Baseball player. That was kind of what my first goal was. And, you know, I always played stick and ball sports, so whether it be baseball, basketball, soccer, and got to do something. We got to play in the League World Series and made it all the way to the Williamsport, and that was a lot of fun. And after that, kind of got burnt out on the baseball part of it. I was always interested in racing and got to have a test at the quarter mile behind Lowe's Motor Speedway. And as soon as I got in it, me and my brother both, we've been full bore on racing, and anytime we can get in a race car, we love it, and trying to make it to the top. I want to be in the Cup Series, the highest NASCAR series, and running with the big guys, you know. I've always been able to watch it, and being around my grandfather for so long, watching him keep up with the teams and stuff, and hopefully be able to drive for him. That'd be a great goal for me and the family, just keeping the racing business going. You know, hopefully one day I'll get to own a team too. I faintly remember when Dale won the Daytona 500 and getting snatched up by my grandmother taking the victory lane. You got to do the hat dance. I always used to love going to victory lane and getting to do the hat dance. You know, I've had a lot of fun this year. RCR has done a great job of putting great trucks out on the track for us, and it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to every week when we can go racing, and just very excited. Jeff Burton at the beginning of the year, he's been asking me what my goals are, and I've been trying to keep up with a goal each week. And we started out with finishing the top 10. That was our main goal, and we were accomplished that at Kansas, and we were good at Martinsville and accomplished that. And each week we were trying to accomplish our goal, and getting the top 3 at Texas was awesome. Now our goal is to run on the top 5. So it moves up each week when we accomplish what we want to do, and hopefully here before too long we'll be getting that win. We already got the pole, so the win's what's left now.
Well, it was an all Dillon brothers front row weekend here. How about that, you and Ty getting the pole on the same racetrack, same weekend? That's got to be a special memory.
Yeah, it was really special. My grandfather got to fly in today with my grandma, so they're going to be here watching the race. So hopefully we'll have a good day with the Bass Pro Shop Chevy, and I'm looking really forward to it. I love it out here in Iowa.
You've run well at this racetrack. What is the key today to staying up there and being in contention to get this first win?
Just no mental mistakes with the pit crew and me. So can't be speeding on pit road. You gotta have 100% just good day, and I think we're prepared to do it, and we got a great truck. So we just had to let her eat.
All right, good luck. We will be keeping our eye on that 3 truck today.
Absolutely. You heard Austin Dillon say he loves this track. He is actually right over my shoulder. Just gave me a little wink as he's talking with his grandfather, Richard Childress. Now these fans would love to see that number 3 in victory lane. More to come.
Next week, the Camping World Truck Series visits the gateway to the West, St. Louis, Missouri. Last year, the gunslinger, Mike Skinner, entered the gateway as a winner after winning in Iowa and left with back-to-back wins. See if Skinner will get his first win of 2010, or who else can find victory lane. Krista Voda hosts the setup starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by flag-to-flag coverage, only on Speed.
The Cup Series is off next weekend. We are not, but the only race that matters today is the one here at the Iowa Speedway. A new field of dreams has taken shape. Will it be Austin Dillon, Mike Skinner, or another? Live from America's Heartland.
It's been said around here that if you build it, they will come. And they were right.
Build it and they will come. Well, sure enough, we've built the excitement, and the fans have come out to see exactly what will happen with the Camping World Truck Series.
But this field is made of asphalt.
When he turns his hands back to the right, that's a bad sign.
He just took a long, deep breath. I think he feels really good about where he is.
And this dream is to stand in victory lane.
Mike Skinner, he will win the first ever race at Iowa Speedway.
The gunslinger is back to victory lane.
Who will go the distance? Truck racing starts now on Speed.
And when they say when they build it, they will come. Well, the fans have come in droves today. Over 20,000 people here to watch the Truck Series race. Welcome to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Lucas Oil 200 on Speed. It's the second time that the Camping World Truck Series has come to the Iowa Speedway, a great facility, a state-of-the-art facility, and we know that a year ago it was Mike Skinner that was the dominant truck. This year it could be Austin Dillon. He's won the pole. Can he win from the pole today? That's one of the stories we're going to be following. Ray Dunlap has one of the other stories that we'll have to follow today, right?
Well, Rick, I think there's going to be a lot of strategy come into play in today's race. The guys have the tires on the truck that's sitting on pit road, and they have 2 sets back here in the pits. But a lot of people are thinking once they get in their fuel window, which is about 95 laps, towards the end of the race, they're going to try to stay out for track position. Maybe hard to pass, but other crew chiefs told me that tires could make a difference. So strategy and what the crew chiefs and drivers think will definitely be a factor today here at Iowa. Rick?
Thanks, Ray. Again, one of the big stories was the weather. We've had a little bit of rain that's come through earlier today. It has really made the track green. We had the rain get the track completely wet. They came on with the jet dryers, got it completely cleared off, but still an overcast day. 73 degrees is the temperature. Overcast, as I mentioned, cloudy. We don't expect any more rain, so we're hoping to get 200 miles off with this race.
I was talking to some of the drivers down at just before driver introductions, and they said that they really didn't know what this cloud cover was going to do to these trucks, how it was going to affect the handling.
Well, when you watched that race last night on Speed, these ARCA cars were all over the place, Phil, 2 and 3 wide, great racing, and that's what I can't wait to see, these guys going at it.
And one of the things that I think will help one of the drivers, Matt Crafton, ran in that ARCA race last night, so he had a little extra track time here at Iowa. Let's go trackside now for today's opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Iowa National Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Pastor Aaron Lurie of Iowa Speedway Ministries offers today's invocation.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day at the Iowa Speedway. We thank you also for the great sport of race car driving that Iowa Speedway affords us. We pray today that you would give us an absolute blessed day. We pray for all of our race car fans, all of our teams, and all of our drivers, that you would give them safety in all that they do. It's also our prayer today, God, that you would bless all of the men and women who are serving all across this world to give us the freedom that we enjoy. Protect them as they protect us. And we ask all this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
In honor of our troops, ladies and gentlemen, please place your right hand over your heart as Waterloo, Iowa's own Savannah DeGroot performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, who say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's hear it for some.
And the drivers are going to sit down and get strapped in for 200 laps, 175 miles of racing from Iowa Speedway. The fans expecting a great show, and that's exactly what they'll get as the trucks take to this 7/8 mile track. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World. Visit campingworld.com and shop over 8,000 RV and outdoor products from the comfort of your recliner. By the Dodge Grand Caravan with seating for up to 7 adults or up to 5 professional wrestling adults. And by Cheerios, 100% natural whole grain oats and 1 gram of sugar. Welcome back to Iowa Speedway. The fans getting settled into their seats, but only for a moment, because once the engines are fired, they will be back up on their feet cheering on their favorite drivers. Let's get you back trackside for Krista's Polaris resetup.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, and all those fans you just saw, they are definitely going to be on their feet from the very start, because a black number 3 will lead this field to green. Austin Dillon, the grandson of Dale Earnhardt's owner, Richard Childress, is on the pole, his 3rd straight. And just so you know, his brother Ty won the pole for yesterday's ARCA race. So they have the Iowa sweep going for the front row there. Weather conditions here have been a factor. We had beautiful weather all weekend, Friday and Saturday. Some showers this morning, but cloud cover, but things are dry right now. Also, we're getting ready for a summer stretch, 9 straight races starting right here in Iowa.
Thanks, Iowa. I was going to say thanks.
Miss Iowa.
Iowa's
Iowa.
own
Miss Iowa.
Krista Voda. We want to thank you for joining us here at the Iowa Speedway for race number 10 of the season. Now, Phil, this is a very impressive racetrack, progressive banking, and we see racing all over.
We really do, and this is really the prototypical racetrack of what we should be built from now on if we ever build any more racetracks. You can race from the bottom, you can race to the top. You guys saw it last night in the ARCA race right here on Speed, that they will do racing all over this racetrack. And if you have a better truck, then you can pass somebody because you got somewhere to do it.
You just go somewhere else. And we saw the guy take the lead on the extreme high side, right out in the white at one point, and then the guy in second couldn't get back around him even though he's twice as fast. You got a lot of options here at Iowa.
And we're going to see all of them, I'm sure, used today in this race. Let's get the engines fired. We go trackside.
Motorsports. Here to give the command to fire up 36 NASCAR Camping World truck engines. Please welcome our Grand Marshal, owner, president, and chief executive officer of Housby Mack, Mr. Jack Housby.
Thank you. I want to thank all you fans for being here and Lucas Oil for this production. Jennifer and gentlemen, start your engines.
Jennifer Jo Cobb firing up the engine of that number 10 race truck, as well as all of the other competitors. Getting the engines warmed up. You need to be warmed up for some great racing coming up. Welcome back to the Lucas Oil 200 from Iowa Speedway. Again, the 10th race of the 2010 season. 77 degrees, so temperatures dropped just a bit since about 15 minutes ago. Mostly cloudy skies. Looks a little ominous back there. That's looking back to the west. So we hope that we don't have any problems with precipitation. Our starting grid's going to roll across the bottom of the screen. A couple young guys down there starting up front. Austin Dillon with his third consecutive pole. And we take a look at our Z-Max track description.
What a great racetrack. We just talked about it a few moments ago. You see just under a mile in length, 7/8. The corners are aggressively banked from 12 to 14 degrees. And racing, man.
Isn't it amazing how much difference a degree makes? I mean, the track looks normal. It looks like every other track we've ever raced on. But just that little bit of variation in the banks allows these guys so many options when they get down to the corners. They can go all the way to the apron, Rick, or they can go all the way out next to the wall.
You mentioned options. We take a look at our Royal Purple Synthetic Oil race analysis. What kind of options and strategy are we going to use today?
Well, we talked about it earlier. Last night in our race, tires maybe don't mean that much. We were talking to some of the crew chiefs in the garage here. They said, hey, track position may be more critical. Eric Almirola used pitch strategy 2 tires last year to go from about 8th to 2nd. So we may see more of that tonight.
I think you'll definitely see more of it. If these guys can't get up front, they'll use tire strategy, tip strategy to get there.
We want to take a look at 4 drivers that we'll shine a spotlight on today in our speed spotlight. Ray Dunlap, who do you have in your spotlight?
Well, Rick, for all the Camping World Truck Series fans out there, they may have never heard of Greg Pursley, but boy, has he done a lot in his racing career. From motorcycles to road courses, he's won in everything he's ever done. The Southwest Tour, the K&N Pro Series, and he won the 2004 Short Track National Championship for NASCAR. In that year, he won 13 of 18 races at Irwindale. This guy's a proven winner. Today, he's very, very excited about making his first Camping World Truck Series start, and he had a great qualifying effort. Kristen?
Yeah, he's got a sporty-looking truck in that black and blue paint scheme, but so does Patty Rodenbeck. You see him there in the 82? A really young guy. He's only 19 years old. It's already been an interesting weekend for him. In qualifying yesterday, you see here, it's a little bit loose and, yeah, spins out. Never been in a truck before. Actually, was supposed to qualify at Martinsville, but due to weather there, wasn't able to, so he's making his very first NASCAR Camping World Truck Series start today. Phil?
Krista, I want to keep an eye on 21-year-old Chris Eggleston. He'll be making his 5th start of the year. He is not qualified outside the top 20 yet. He's looking to run Talladega later on this year. He was a 2009 ASA North champ, and he attends Colorado State University. And Chris will start from the 16th position, Mikey.
Phil, let's look at Green Level, Pennsylvania's Norm Binney. Norm's driving the number 57 truck. He had his best finish of the year just a couple weeks ago at Texas. He finished 17th there. He's starting 32nd today. Look for Norm to be solid all day long.
And Norm Benning and the rest of our speed spotlights are going to have to chase some very strong trucks around this racetrack today. Two of those starting up front. Eric Almirola on the outside. Austin Dillon, again, third consecutive pole in the Camping World Truck Series. He and Danny Stockman have got that figured out, that combination of what you've got to do to go fast for 1 lap. Can he figure it out for 200 laps? Can Austin Dillon get to victory lane? We're about to find out. Green flag in the air at Iowa.
Austin Dillon takes the low line and gets ahead of Eric Almirola. That's kind of a tough decision, Phil, whether to start on the bottom or the top. He took the bottom, and look,
4 wide coming out of turn number 4.
We've got to make notes on how many times we say 3, 4 wide. That's what this place is all about. These guys are going to be all over one another. Eric Almirola clears for second, takes that position away.
Brian Eichler settles in third.
Brian Eichler driving that number 18 truck. Kyle Busch in Chicago this weekend, so not able to make the trip down, and Eichler behind the wheel of that truck. We'll see how he does today.
Side-by-side battle for 5th there. Timothy Peters, the 17 on the outside. Stacy Compton, the 60, was on the inside of him. Now he's in the middle of a 3-wide battle. That's the second time.
Yeah, it'll go on and on.
Matt Crafton to the high side, and he ran the ARCA Racing Series race last night and gave him a little more seat time on this racetrack. Has a very good truck today. We'll see if he can move that number 88 to the front.
You can see the 62 truck of Greg Persley. He's into the 4th spot. Really solid start for that team. Timothy Peters right behind in pursuit.
Battle for second about to take place. Eric Almirola being chased very closely by that 18 of Brian Eichler. And we see the 3 of Austin Dillon has already put about 1.1 seconds on the second place Almirola.
And there is the battle for second, Rick. And you talked about the guys in the garage area said that 3 truck of Austin Dillon was the class of the field in practice. You know, Phil, as they run more and more laps, though, sometimes practice doesn't tell you what you have at the end of a long run. So these guys will certainly monitor how their trucks are behaving once the long run gets to taking place. But right now, practice is right. Austin is fast.
I'll tell you, that 18 truck right there, Brian Eichler knows how to get around this place.
He's high.
Problems
way high.
A big wiggle from Brian Eichler. He's trying to hang on to it and get back in the groove.
Well, it almost looked like maybe the truck hit the splitter, hit the racetrack, and just obviously when the splitter hits the racetrack, then you have really no tires on the track. He slid way up the hill.
Either that or he got a little bit loose maybe getting in, Phil, and had to correct it to the right. Let's see if we can see what happens here.
It looked like he bottomed out a little bit when he got over into turn number 3. He looked like he had thoughts of maybe going to the outside of Eric Almirola.
Greg Persley checked up a bit in that 62 behind him, but now is back up to speed. Persley holding on to the 4th spot. An impressive run for the newcomer to the Camping World Truck Series.
You see Matt Crafton around the outside of Timothy Peters. That truck looks really strong early in the going as well.
This has not been a typical season for Matt Crafton. We're so used to seeing him
just steady.
Steady. But here, Greg Persley, what a great debut here in the Camping World Truck Series for him. But he's going to have his mirror full of Matt Crafton here in just a moment.
That's because that 88 truck is really fast. He can drive it anywhere he wants to. See if he chooses to go low or high.
What a phenomenal facility that enables you to take those choices. He runs all the way down to the yellow line, Matt Crafton does, trying to make the pass on Persley. Persley was up 3 lanes higher. Ray Dunlap.
Well, just to give you a little ad on Greg Persley, this is a nice piece of equipment that he's driving today. They bought this truck from Kevin Harvick Incorporated, and last year this truck ran at New Hampshire and Martinsville. Kevin drove it at both of those races. How about this for finishes? 3rd at New Hampshire, 5th at Martinsville. They know they've got a good piece of equipment, and Persley doing a nice job of holding the wheel.
And holding off Matt Crafton, Timothy Peters, Johnny Sauter, all winners in this series.
And right now, that 62 of Greg Persley is running ahead of both the KHI trucks of Kenny Schrader and Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I actually questioned from yesterday's practices. Is Hornaday didn't seem to find the handle of that number 33 truck. Didn't really have a competitive truck in practice, and I was hoping to see maybe some improvements on that. Now running in the 14th spot.
Make that 15th, Rick, as James Busher drove to the inside of Hornaday. So you're right, that truck isn't exactly the way he needs it.
You see the separation for 2nd and 3rd. Eric Almirola a bit further back, as you see already Austin Dillon setting a blistering pace. Whoa, and he's getting into a little bit of tight territory here. Austin Dillon putting a few trucks a lap down early on in this race. Only the 12th lap of this race. Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola, and Brian Eichler are your top 3.
Just the second time we've come to Iowa Speedway in the land of corn. Mike Skinner dominated a year ago, but will it be a new face that's in victory lane? You got to stay with us here on Speed to find out. Tomorrow night, only one NASCAR show delivers the drivers, the crew chiefs,
The latest news and information and expert analysis from the epicenter of NASCAR Nation, Charlotte, North Carolina. Don't miss a full hour of NASCAR Race Hub presented by Hooters tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, only on Speed.
Going to have a big announcement tomorrow on the Race Hub with a new driver to the series here in the Camping World Truck Series.
I'm looking forward to that.
A lot of good things happen in the Truck Series. Tomorrow will be a fun day.
Right now, a fun day for Austin Dillon as he has a 1.4 second lead, but that lead shrunk way down when Austin was going through some of the traffic. Eric Almirola was able to close that gap to about 0.6 of a second, but now he's expanding it once again in the clear racetrack. Let's find out a little bit more about Austin Dillon with Krista.
Just to give you a little insight on what they're talking about on the radio, you basically heard two things. You've heard spotter Andy Houston say, great job, good corner. And then you've heard Austin Dillon, the driver, talk about how he's free on the backstretch and mentioning how tough it is to get through that lap traffic.
Timothy Peters.
Yeah, you ought to have seen the battle these guys were having, Rick. Check it out, coming off turn 4. Looked like that's off 2. Johnny Sauter decided he'd squeeze up in front of Timothy Peters. He had tried to do it a couple of times. Timothy said, okay, you can have that spot, but I just want you to know I didn't appreciate how you took it. And then watch, Ty Bodine dives in on the outside of Timothy and takes away that spot. Tough lap for Timothy, and it all started because of the fact that when you're down low, you need that space. You want that momentum. You need that space that the guy on the outside is occupying, and sometimes if you crowd him just a little bit, you can get in there, and that's what Johnny decided to do.
And we talk about how good the outside here is because of the extra banking, and so you get a lot of good bite up off the corner on the outside to keep that momentum up.
I've heard a lot of drivers call this a momentum racetrack. As a matter of fact, 9-time series champion in the ARCA Racing Series, Frank Kimmel, yesterday said, I compare it to Michigan. It's got wide sweeping turns that have got to keep that momentum up in the turns. And so we're seeing a lot of guys run a little bit higher and have success with it.
Absolutely. And there's a great battle for 12th right there. Mike Skinner, our winner last year, and James Busher. And how impressive has James Busher been since he jumped in this truck full-time in the series?
Yeah, and Mike says what a difference a year makes. Mike sat on the pole a year ago and led about 180 some laps en route to winning. So he knows how to get it done here, and this year racing along in the 12th spot. Now, Phil, I think that he can still get that thing tuned up and get up and contend for this win. We've talked about pit strategy, maybe getting 2 tires to gain some of that track position. So it's early in the going. We see Austin Dillon dominating, but there's still a lot of racing that's going to go into seeing who's going to get the checkered flag here in Iowa.
James Busher looking to the inside of Mike Skinner there in that 31. His last 4 races, a 2nd, a 4th, a 6th, and a 16th. So very impressive runs for James Busher.
And at 16th was, he ran a lot better than that finish indicated.
You can see him working the extreme low side of the track, just like Johnny Sauter's doing here on Matt Crafton. Let's see if Johnny decides he's going to have to crowd Matt like he did Timothy Peters. He's down on the low side of the track.
I don't think his teammates, they probably ought to crowd each other on the racetrack, especially early on, but he might.
Well, he might crowd him and say, that's my teammate, he'll give me a little room.
We've seen issues all year long with teammates in all the series of NASCAR.
We sure have. Working lap 28 here at Iowa. And more on Crafton, let's go to Ray Dunlap.
I talked to him just before the race started, Rick, and he said last night in the ARCA race he was terrible tight through the first 2 runs, and then when they put tires on for the final time with 50 to go, his car went very, very loose. He said he wasn't sure if that's a product of the Hoosier tires or the changing conditions on the racetrack. So they're still scratching their heads a little bit today about exactly what will happen. But in the early stages of this race, Crafton said he's about a 3 on a 1 to 10 scale of tight. Krista?
Ray, something you said in the pre-race really stuck out to me. You were talking to Todd Bodine and the fact that the only time he's finished outside the top 5, Martinsville, a short track. This is the only other time all year we've been to a short track. Iowa Speedway, just under a mile. Todd Bodine said he was embarrassed by their run here last year. They went to Gresham Motorsports Park to practice this setup. He said he's even borrowing some things from Mike Skinner.
Todd It's currently in the 7th spot. Looks like a pretty competitive truck. These are the teammates having a tussle.
It hadn't been settled yet. Johnny Sauter still looking to the inside of that 88 of Crafton.
Heard Crafton have to pedal the throttle that time up off the corner. Looked like he lost the front end a little bit.
You know what happens with teammates sometimes, Rick? You assume that if you need a little room, your teammate's going to give it to you. Well, that assumption sometimes leads to trouble.
Well, sometimes that other teammate assumes that you won't take that extra room.
That's it. It's always
something.
It's a difference of opinion. You know, I thought he should have. Well, I thought you should have. And the next thing you know, we're crashed.
Meanwhile, that's great side-by-side racing here, though.
Carl Chevrolet on board the number 13 for Johnny Sauter this week.
There he goes. Look at the run through the center of the corner. Will Matt give him the room? Yes, he does. That's teammates. Early in the going, Johnny's faster. He had a good run through the center of the corner. Why force the issue? Roll off the gas and let Johnny Sauter have that spot.
Stacy Compton back behind the wheel of the 60, running a limited schedule this year. Narain Karthikeyan will be back behind the wheel of the 60 a little bit later this season.
Another solid run, remains up in the top 10, 32 laps into this race. We talked to Stacy in the pre-race show and saw that the fact that he's actually changed manufacturers this year. They started out the season with Toyotas, then made the switch to Chevrolets. They've been very, very competitive. Narain has done a great job on that truck. 13th in his debut at Martinsville.
Mario Goslin there in the Tire Monkey truck. He's getting ready to go a lap down. Austin Dillon just marching through this field.
Mario Goslin running 21st, so currently 21 trucks on the lead lap. Austin Dillon, since the drop of the green flag, has been the dominant Camping World truck. He has led every lap, all 33. Brian Eichler running second now as he's been able to get by Eric Almirola, Greg Persley, and Johnny Sauter, your top 5. Make sure to tune in to Wind Tunnel tonight at a special time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Dave Despain and all the tunnel heads will be joined by co-host Chad Knaus. They have guests of Ray Evernham and Darrell Waltrip on that broadcast with them tonight.
ODW, that's my brother.
First caution of the day has come out for the Camping World Truck Series. It happens on lap 39, and that's because Steve Wallace cut a right front tire, and into the wall he went.
Yeah, Rick, let's take a look at what happened here. Steve was just riding along there, and all of a sudden the right front went down.
And, you know, that happened at probably the worst place it could have built. Dead in the center of the turn. You can see him roll in there, and look, the right front tire looks fine. Boom, there it goes flat.
And look how that thing almost turns dead right. It really goes straight, but as a driver, you feel like it turned right.
That's exactly right. You can see this thing just abruptly go the wrong direction.
Yeah, there was no contact between Steven and either one of these other two trucks. When it goes down, though, thank goodness for those safer barriers.
He was running 18th at the time, and he was about to get lapped because Austin Dillon was coming up behind him. Our Aaron's lucky dog, Michael, goes to David Starr.
Making dreams come true, a free pass at a time.
And here comes Austin Dillon, race leader, on to pit road. Right behind him.
All of our leaders to pit road.
The 18 of Ryan Eichler, who was running second. So the field making their way on to pit road. Ray.
Matt Crafton is in at my end, Rick. He wanted to get an air pressure change in the left rear, and he's also going to put 3/4 of a round of brake towards the front, trying to get through the center just a little bit. Let's go to Krista.
The 3 of Austin Dillon had planned to stay out, but they decided to come in. He said he's just a little bit loose in. Meanwhile, Brian Eichler, the 18, also coming in. Brian Eichler had that wiggle early. They said everything's okay now, just some small changes for the 18.
Austin Dillon able to win the race off pit road quite easily.
You know, Phil, I wonder if that blown tire on Steve Wallace made those guys change their mind. You know, the caution comes out, a right front tire blows. Maybe they say it's 30, 40 laps. Let's make sure we don't have a wear issue on that right front.
Especially since we don't know exactly why that right front went down.
And again, the reason we're under brake, the 15, Stephen Wallace, right front tire blows, and straight into the wall he goes. Stay with us here on Speed. More racing coming up.
It's Camping World's Destination Recreation.
Hopefully by now you've had an opportunity to visit one of Camping World's great retail locations. I mean, these stores are jam-packed with 10,000 different items that you might want to get to make your RVing experience just perfect. but sometimes you don't have the opportunity to get to the store, and we have a solution for you. You can get out your computer and log on to campingworld.com. At that site, they've got all kinds of great specials. Now, if you came into the retail store, you might see the monthly flyer. Well, online we have great specials like that also, but you can sign up for email alerts, special coupons, and some internet-only specials. And another thing you can do when you're on campingworld.com, you can set up your very own RV rental. It's really convenient, and I think this internet thing might just catch on.
Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes back better than ever. More prizes, more chances to win. All you have to do is go to campingworld.com/racing for the official rules. Coming out of turn 4, green flag back in the air. Austin Dillon on the inside, and outside him, Brian Eichler.
Eric Almirola took a peek to the inside for just a moment, thought better of it.
Can Eichler hang on the right rear quarter panel of Austin Dillon and keep him pinched down? No. Austin makes a strong exit off turn 2 and resumes his lead.
Good pit work by the 30 bunch for Ty Bodine to get him out in the 4th position.
See Eric Almirola look on the inside of Eichler there. Looks like that truck's tuned up well on this restart.
How much of a concern was the green racetrack after we had some rain, the jet dryers out there, to maybe a little bit of tire wear early in this race?
I don't think we had enough rain really to wash much of the rubber down. You can see the racetrack still looks awfully black from the rubber. Sometimes you get a little of the jet fuel residue, makes the track slick for a little bit, but with these 36 trucks on the racetrack, that goes away pretty quick.
Yeah, I think they were pretty confident about what they had, and I didn't hear any talk in the garage area about tire wear, so maybe that's an isolated incident. You remember last night, Rick, in the ARCA race, the Venturini cars both blew right front tires. So I believe Eric Almirola might be a little bit nervous about his truck, realizing that Steve Wallace, his teammate, blew a right front in just 40 laps. We'll have to see what his truck tells him as he keeps going forward. But a lot of times it is related to what your chassis setup is like, whether you wear your right front tire or not.
Battle for second, Eric Almirola. We talked about it, teammate into the wall early, and now Eric Almirola trying to battle for that second spot. 3 wide behind him, though. The 33 of Hornaday, Johnny Sauter in the middle, and the 39 on the outside of Ryan Sieg.
Looked like Almirola got loose there on the left side of our screen underneath the 18 of Eichler.
Oh, the contact there. Ron Hornaday looked like he was trying to move up the racetrack. Ryan Sieg said, I've got this position held.
And then he tried to move down the racetrack, and Johnny Sauter said, I got this spot. Ron's bouncing all over the place. Sauter clears Hornaday.
Remember Johnny Sauter and Ron Hornaday at Kansas a few races ago.
And Martinsville a little while back. There's a little blood there.
Man, but these guys are going to be laying on one another all day long here at this track, Phil. You need a little extra space. You get frustrated. The guy keeps hanging on that right rear quarter. You're going to move him around a little bit. We saw that twice in one lap there with Ron Hornaday. Look
there's
there.
More contact. Justin Lofton sideways through the turn, straightens it back out. We stay caution free.
These guys are racing around the 14th, 15th spot. And look at that pack they're in. Mario Goslin there.
Yep, Stacy Compton
on the high side.
Just below him. Those two getting very close going through the turn.
Mario's truck right now is actually 1 lap down. He is the first truck 1 lap down.
Riding along in the 20th spot, he would get the Aaron's lucky dog if he could hold that spot. And that's why he's being so aggressive in that pack. He wants to try to make sure he is the Aaron's lucky dog. Watch the 70s. Down on the bottom, got the truck turned, slides up a little bit into the side of Skinner, knocks him sideways. Lofton does a good job hanging on to it.
Jay White goes by in the bottom of the Gunbroker truck.
Justin Lofton currently running 14th. There are, at this time, 19 on the lead lap. Chris Eggleston, who was your speed spotlight, Phil, is running in that 19th position.
He actually got a lap down, stayed on the racetrack, used the wave around to get back on the lead lap.
Battle for third continues. Todd Bodine just in front of Eric Almirola. Bodine has taken that spot away from Almirola. Almirola wanting it back.
Talk to Ty Bodine in the garage area. You know, obviously we make a whole lot of, in fact, when you go to a 1.5 mile racetrack, you have to really think about Ty Bodine as the favorite. Well, when you come to a short track, you don't necessarily think of Ty Bodine as the favorite because he's never won on a short track in his career, and they want to change that.
Isn't that amazing? 18 wins and not 1 on a short track, and he's good on short tracks.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let's find out what happened to that right front tire with Steve Wallace. He's standing by with Chris Devoto.
Yeah, we're in the garage. Steve, a hard hit. We saw some blown tires last night in the ARCA race. Were you guys a little bit heavy on the setup there, or what happened?
Yeah, you know,
Start of the race with Toyota Des Moines, Toyota was, pretty good. We, the clutch started slipping real bad, and that, really hurt us a lot. And we were planning on our first pit stop to come down to rebleed the clutch, as it was just, really killing us. And then the right front tire blew out. Our tire wear's been good all week long, and let's just run over something. But gotta thank Steve Loopy with Toyota Des Moines and Billy Blue for giving me this opportunity. And we'll go to St. Louis and give it hell again. But it's just a bad deal, because I really felt good about the truck, and then about the third or fourth lap, the clutch started slipping really bad. It just started going downhill there, but we'll go to St. Louis, give her hell. Thanks.
All right, sounds good. I know this track means a lot to his dad, Rusty Wallace.
Man, this is a great battle, isn't it? Isn't it fun to see James Busher and Greg Pursley battling up inside the top 10? Solid trucks.
Hey, James Busher, we talked about it before, how impressive he's been.
I know this is something that makes Kevin Harvick proud. You talked about that truck was running ahead of both of his other trucks. That shows people that Kevin's going to build you and sell you something you can go run up front with, and that's a great feeling.
That's another one of the 31 truck right there. James Busher, another one of the KHI trucks. Straight Pro motors in those trucks and been awfully fast.
Schrader and Hornaday are currently running 10th and 11th. These trucks running 7th and 8th. Excuse me, 6th and 7th.
There's a Chevrolet out front with Austin Dillon, and then Crafton, Pursley, Busher, and Sauter all running 5th through 9th right, or 8th, all running Chevrolets, right?
And both of those trucks that the guys were talking about were a little bit loose prior to our first round of pit stops at lap 41. So on Pursley's truck, they did it with air pressure on the right front. When it comes to James Busher, they made a track bar adjustment. So the two guys making a little different decision on how to fix their loose condition on the racetrack.
3 different lines through the turn there for those 3 trucks. We saw the 62 stay a little bit higher, the 31 was right in the middle, and the 13 down to the bottom. Austin Dillon looks like he can run anywhere he wants to. He has a 1.5 second lead over second place Brian Eichler, and he has been out front all day long. So a great day for Austin Dillon as we've completed 60 laps here at Iowa Speedway. You mentioned Todd Bodine has never won on a short track. He's strong now, running in that 3rd spot. Or how about James Busher in the 31? Another young face that wants to get to victory lane in NASCAR. Well, race fans, Sunoco's Free Fuel 5000 is back. Just get your Sunoco decal, put it on your car, get spotted, and win. We've got spotters visiting every participating Sunoco, and if we see you with it while you're there filling up, you'll win one of thousands of instant prizes and a shot at the grand prize, 5,000 gallons of Sunoco fuel. For more information, go to GoSunoco.com. I believe that's on the internet, which Ray was thinking might take off.
I think he might have something.
Yep.
And that's a lot of gas.
5,000 gallons is a lot of gas.
There's Austin Dillon right now. He's using a lot of gas here. About a 1.5 second lead over Brian Eichler. There's a little bit of pressure on Austin Dillon, though.
He's led 68 laps, and that's almost a familiar sight if you're a historian of the Truck Series, because when Mike Skinner was driving the number 3, he was a dominant truck. He actually led, I believe, all of the laps of a race once or twice.
3 times.
3 times.
And remember, he won 16 races in the first 2 years of the series. But you also have to remember back in the early days of the series, back in '95, for the first 3 or 4 years, they did not have live pit stops. They would run to a halftime break, so there were no lead changes because of pit stops. So that's one big difference with what we have today.
And then, it's crazy to think that maybe he could lead every lap here today, because it hadn't been done since that era. With the live pit stops, and Austin Dillon up to 70 laps, he's led every one of them so far.
What a great run we've had out of Greg Pursley. Currently running in the 8th spot. Now, he has had a little bit of trouble while we were away at break. Take a look.
He just got in the corner a little bit high, it looked like, and he makes slight contact with the safer barrier, but continues on and remains in the 8th position. Lost a couple spots while that happened.
But he's flirting with that high side. He's running right up next to the white, and when you flirt with it, eventually it's going to bite you. But he was able to bounce that Chevy off the wall and keep it in the top 10. That's pretty cool.
Ron Hornaday currently in the 10th position, so he's broke into the top 10. You see his sequence down at the bottom of the screen, right?
Well, Rick, I talked with Ron Hornaday in the pre-race show today, and he said when they did qualifying, his truck was terrible loose. He was really amazed at just how loose it was. It's been a little loose today, but I wanted to take a look at when Ron Hornaday has gotten his first win of the season. And these are some really, really impressive numbers. And as you look back through his career from '95 forward, he's just about always a winner in the first few 4 or 5 races of the season. But so far this year, a winless drought. And right now today, Hornaday's saying his truck's still very loose on the track, and he's calling it as if it is stepping out a little bit. So apparently the rear end not very stable on that number 33 today. But a lot of Ron Hornaday fans saying, when is that first victory of 2010 going to get here?
Has his teammate right behind him, Ray, and Kenny Schrader. Trouble on the racetrack.
The 51 of Eric Almirola into the wall. Now that was the big question. Would teammates have the same problem?
And less laps this time, only about 30 laps since our restart. So
a lot of times you engineer these things, you design them out to get the most grip and put as much load on the tires as you can. Obviously something went wrong with the design on the front ends of that 51 and 15 trucks because it abused that right front tire, blew it out, and caused it to crash.
Could have been possibly low air pressure, could have been excessive camber, or could have just been the setup, but unfortunately it looks very much like his teammate, the 15 of Stephen Wallace.
You know, these teams, they work their hardest to abuse these Goodyear tires. That's their goal. They want to get all the pressure on those tires they can get. It's going to make it turn through the corner better. Sometimes you overload it with pressure. It makes it fast for a while, but it won't last.
This is what Matt Crafton saw when he was driving down the corner. You see just up ahead.
Wow.
You know,
how violent that is.
We talk about this being a short track, Michael, but the pole speed was 135 miles an hour. So these guys are probably running, what, 155, 160 at the end of the straightaway?
You'd have to guess, and they make that abrupt left down into the turn. You know, when you're going that fast on a relatively small track, your angle of attack to the corner is much sharper than it is on some bigger tracks. So when something goes wrong, man, that looked aggressive as it shot across the track into the wall.
Now remember, coming into this race, Eric Almirola second in the point standings. He was just 55 points behind Todd Bodine. So as we're into our 10th race of the season, you really have to start looking at how the points will implicate our championship. And right now, Todd Bodine looking pretty good. Timothy Peters coming into this race was 165 points back in third in the point standings. Ron Hornaday looking for another championship in this series. The problem is he's 170 points back, and we mentioned when will his first win come. This is the furthest he's ever been in a season before he's got that first win of the season. Completed 76 laps on our 77th lap. There's a Ron Hornaday fan.
Wow,
and that's a really big fan, by the way.
I'm glad he didn't win more in 09. I don't know where we would have. Where are we going with that?
He's on pit road right now, that 33 truck of Ron Hornaday.
Hey, Phil, they are going to put the hood up and put some rounds in the front springs here. Hornaday saying he is bottoming out so terribly. And they're also going to work on the left rear shock. Going to put 3 or 4 clicks in there. You see the crew members putting some rounds of wedge to raise the front up. That'll get the splitter up off the racetrack and hopefully help Hornaday get through the center of the corner.
You know, the truck's about 9th on back. Kenny Schrader stayed on the track, but from about 9th on back, all came to pit road to work on their trucks. Got to get these things tuned up. We talked about Chris Eggleston. He took a wave around earlier, Phil. We thought it didn't work out for him, but he ended up getting the lucky dog because of the track position that he got out of it. So the Aaron's lucky dog to Chris Eggleston, his wave around seemed to work out okay for him.
Absolutely.
Well, the field will bunch back up again. Can anyone get by Austin Dillon? That is the question of the day from Iowa. Green flag coming out at Iowa Speedway. Austin Dillon. Here comes Todd Bodine battling for second and trying to take the lead away from the 3.
I think Austin Dillon wants to lead all these laps.
Austin Dillon, he saw what Mike Skinner has done before in this truck. He wants to duplicate that. How about the battle now for the 4th position?
How about the battle for 2nd position? Where'd Johnny Sauter come from?
Johnny Sauter up there. Now they're going to make it 3 wide for 2nd. Sauter in the middle. Brian Eichler on the inside in the 18. Now to the outside, the 88 of Matt Crafton. Todd Bodine just in front of this group.
Ooh, almost contact between Sauter and the 13 and Eichler in the 18. Here's James Busher. The 31's going to join the crowd.
How hard are these guys battling here? We're not even halfway yet. They're sideways all over each other.
I love double file restart.
Oh, I do too. I love the passion these guys have. Do you see Sauter? He was just trying to gain a spot dead sideways off turn 2, running 150 miles an hour.
Look, Austin Dillon already checking out on this group. He's got about a 2nd lead over Todd Bodine, Matt Crafton, Johnny Sauter, James Busher.
Do you know how good that feels, Rick, to look back in your mirror and see all that going on and you not be a part of it?
A lot better than when I got a speeding ticket and I saw the lights in the back, which we talked about earlier in the show.
Yeah, that's not
that's not the view you want to look back at.
Look at Skinner.
Eichler running up the racetrack in that 18.
That was aggressive.
Yeah.
Skinner's making a good move. We talked about him early in the race, back in the 12th, 13th spot. Led so many laps here a year ago. Looks like he's heading in a good direction now.
It looked like he was almost struggling a little bit early on, but not anymore.
Top of the hour here in Iowa. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock. Thanks for joining us here for the Camping World Truck Series. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip with you up in the booth. Chris Devoto, Ray Dunlap down on pit road telling all the stories that are happening so far in this one. The big story has been the 15 of Steve Wallace and the 51 of Eric Almirola, both having right front tires go down, both getting into the wall and out of the race.
Those are team trucks like we talked about, Rick, so you got to think maybe these Goodyear tires are fine, and it could have been just a setup issue on those trucks. And like you said, Phil, possibly an air pressure setting. Generally, Goodyear recommends or requires that there be an X amount of air in that right front tire so they don't get into a situation where you can lower it down. The reason why you run your tires lower is because when they're cold, they're one size, but as the air builds up in them, they grow, they get harder and stiffer and tighter, and the truck won't want to turn. So you want them as low as you can get them and have them still be safe.
And NASCAR will monitor that right front air pressure. That is the only tire that they actually will monitor up and down pit road.
The other ones, normally guys will cheat and put less air pressure in, recommended, right, on the left sides?
Well, all four. Ideally, they will put less air pressure in all four tires.
Well, ideally, what you would like is for some of that air as it builds up to leak out of that tire. And that's, people ask me all the time, well, why don't you just bleed air off? That's not allowed. That's another thing that's a definite no-no in NASCAR racing. So
we had a huge fine in the Cup Series for doing just that here a few weeks ago.
These teams are restricted so many different ways. People that don't know a lot about racing, they come up to me and say, hey man, why don't y'all, and I stop them right there and I say, because we can't.
There's a rule book.
And we've already thought of it.
Yeah, we've probably covered that area.
That's how the rule book has gotten so thick, because of the guys thinking of things.
Innovative thinkers in the garage area can read the rule book and interpret it differently than others, I guess.
Kenny Schrader has a great view out of his windshield of a great battle between Greg Persley and Justin Lofton for 9th.
And Austin Dillon has a great view out of his rear view mirror.
Nothing.
Well, and looking
pretty clear out the front too.
He's got a 2-second lead already, over a 2-second lead over Todd Bodine. This truck is handling, well, I would say is handling perfectly, because he is pulling away every time. On every restart, he pulls away to at least a 1 to 1.5 second lead. Now he's got over 2 seconds on second place.
There's that battling continuing for the 9th position.
You know, it's funny, a year
ago, behind the 8th place truck of Timothy Peters.
A year ago, we saw the same thing with Mike Skinner, just getting out in front and dominating this race. The track is so competitive. There's so many different grooves. I find that ironic that one guy can get that much better than everyone and drive away. Second year we've been here, second year we've seen this same scenario.
You know, we talk about experience on this racetrack. Obviously, this is the second time we've ever been here with the Camping World Truck Series. Austin has been here before. He's run here with East Series, the combination race, as well as running second last year in the ARCA Racing Series race. So he does have a little bit of experience at this racetrack.
Will experience pay off at Iowa Speedway? Well, you got to stick around to find out. Coverage of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speeds brought to you by Nature Valley Granola Bars. The taste nature intended. By Damp Rid, because the key to mold control is moisture control. Control them both with Damp Rid. And by Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. Next Sunday, the Rolex Sports Car Series thunders into New Jersey to continue an explosive season of racing. Here, the unpredictable weather and the twisting and turning 2.25-mile track are sure to keep the action fast and tension high. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series from New Jersey next Sunday live, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on Speed.
Rick, would you like to focus in on the battle for second, or perhaps the one for 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th? These people are all over each other.
It's hard to focus on any of the battles because they're all over the racetrack. Like you mentioned, the battle for second. Crafton looking to the inside of Todd Bodine.
Well, I really wondered that time if Matt Crafton was going to use all the racetrack, because he squirted around that lap truck and looked like he had a bit of an advantage over Todd. Did not take that spot, did not force the issue, and now he has to contend with his teammate, Johnny Sauter, who's going to go to the bottom.
He wants to talk to Todd Bodine time so bad. It's like, Todd, why not? Why not? I'm just running you down. I'm all over you. I need this spot. Give me the spot. Todd says, I'm second and I'm staying here. And Johnny Sauter takes third away.
Yeah, Mike Skinner, take a look at, we're riding along with him, and we see Sauter just in front of him, but what an improvement on that truck since the last stop.
Yeah, undoubtedly Stacy Johnson made some great changes to that truck, and he is on it now, battling Johnny Sauter right now for the 4th spot.
I love that. You know, I love the fact that he was able to adjust. So we talked about it early, that he was in 12th, but that didn't mean he wasn't going to be able to win this race. They made serious improvements to that truck without using a whole lot of pit strategy to do it. Just made the truck better.
Krista Voda caught up with the teammate of Steve Wallace, also having a right front tire go down. That's Eric Almirola. Krista?
That's right, Rick, in the garage with Eric Almirola right now. Just a few laps ago, we were talking to your teammate about his blown tire. He said he thought he ran over something, but it's not usually a coincidence that 2 teammates are in the garage with the same issue. Was it the setup?
I guess so. I mean, it obviously looks like that. You know, we didn't think we were that aggressive on our cambers in practice yesterday. We looked at it, you know, really, really good. And I don't know. It's just, these are the kind of days we were trying to hope to avoid. You know, we weren't looking for this for our Graceway Pharmaceuticals Toyota Tundra. We had a really good truck, we felt like, and we needed to make a few adjustments on pit stops to get it better to where we could go up there and race for the lead. But I felt like we were definitely a 2nd or 3rd place truck. And man, to come out of here with a 20-something or 30-something place finish is not what we were looking for. So it hurts. It really hurts. But we'll go get him at Gateway.
All right, thanks. I know, very disappointed Eric Almirola, and it looks like we're going to have another disappointed Toyota driver out on the track right now.
Yeah, Krista, and this is the 3rd place man in the points race. Timothy Peters, who came into here 165 points back from Todd Bodine, also having problems. So we just heard from Eric Almirola out of the race. Timothy Peters now potentially a blown motor, bringing out the 3rd caution from Iowa. That opens the door for Ron Hornaday again.
These motors don't usually break. I mean, they're so reliable. So it'll be interesting to see what happened to that 17 truck. Eric Almirola didn't know that was happening to the 17 truck at the time. Makes him feel just a little bit better. I mean, these guys are in a championship battle. If he could see Todd Bodine suffer some sort of problem today, he would feel a lot better.
Well, the Duplicolor bed armor, What's in Your Bed promotion, is launched and continues until August 31st, 2010. Entry is open to legal residents of the United States and who are 18 years of age or older. Entry requires submission of an image and description of your truck in use in one of 3 categories. Limit 1 entry per person, household, or street address per category. Odds of winning depend on the number of entries on the website. To enter and for official rules, visit www.bedarmor.com. Void where prohibited.
You do that really nice, Rick. That's a lot of words.
That's the internet, by the way. www. I think it's going to take off. As Red.
When will that thing come around, mentioned. You think?
Well, I'm going to actually.
Soon? Would you say soon?
I'm going to throw this out to Ray too. There's this thing called texting, and I think it's going to. I think it might have its.
Hang in there.
Yeah, it might have its.
Might have some pit stops getting ready to happen right now. We're past halfway.
Here they come, bud.
Austin Dillon on his way down once again. Let's go trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Now, Austin's got a long way to get to his pit stop. First guy that'll be here for service will be my man, Matt Crafton, coming in here with his ideal doors on the garage doors on the hood this week. Menard Chevrolet is going to go with 4 tires and get this guy's absolutely no adjustments. He's very happy with where it's at. They've got gas in there, and Crafton with a nice smooth stop. Krista?
Todd Bodine is in. Obviously, the test they did during the off time has helped. They were awful here last year. Very good, running extremely well. Todd Bodine's crew working around on the left side. A 4-tire change is what it's going to be for the 30. Meanwhile, our leader, Austin Dillon. The crew is talking on the radio saying, we have to pack it here, boys, talking about fuel. Austin Dillon, the only thing he's saying, he's getting a little tight in the center and off longer in that run.
It's like some 2-tire strategy.
Yeah, I think so. At least for probably Rick Skinner and Donnie Leah. The first 2 trucks off of pit road.
Looked like Todd Bodine might have also edged Austin Dillon off pit road.
So it doesn't look as though Austin Dillon's going to lead every lap at Iowa Speedway today. He's got his work cut out for him now. The Lucas Oil 200 continues here on Speed.
Next Saturday, Charlotte Motor Speedway will host a Legends Cars race to top them all, and it's only on Speed. Competitors will be battling for an unprecedented $1 million purse. So make sure you tune in next Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's the Legends Million, only on Speed. A big weekend here at Iowa Speedway, the ARCA Racing Series last night and the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series today. Remember, you can watch Speed on MediaCom. In the garage a little early is Timothy Peters. He's standing with Chris Devoto. And before we go down there, we'll talk a little bit more about what has taken place on the racetrack. We've seen the guys come to pit road 3 times now, and again, tires was the issue. We've got 91 laps to go. That's a long time to go on one set of tires, but a lot of guys, that's the hand they were dealt, and so they are stuck with that. And we go back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, you know, at the top of the show, I told you we might see some tire strategy working out. Well, here's one I didn't expect. James Busher and his crew has made a very interesting call. They came in on their first round of pit stops, changed tires. Second round of pit stops, changed tires. But this time, guess what they did? They put on their first set, and that leaves them with a set of stickers down here in the pits. As far as I know, no other team on the entire pit road has stickers left over. This is the only crew that does that. And they've been having a real battle getting off turn 3 and turn 4 today. They made a big swing at the chassis, but these 4 stickers in here could play a big factor before today's race is over.
Take a look at our race summary after 110 laps. Skinner out front now. We've had 3 different leaders and lead changes. 3 cautions for 17 laps have slowed the pace down. Only 9 trucks off the race. Stay with us. Get exclusive analysis from Speed.com personalities and industry experts like Chris Devoto, Randy Pemberton, Hermie Sadler, Tom Jensen, and more. Get more at Speed.com's NASCAR section and look for the voices of Speed every week. Take a look at our Speed Spotlight guys, where they are running now. Greg Pursley started 6th, running 10th.
Told you Norm would hang in there, 25th.
Chris Eccleston, my guy, used the wave around, then the lucky dog, and finds himself on the lead lap in 15th.
And Greg Pursley looks totally solid. Been in the top 10 all day long, guys.
Fans up on their feet for the restart. Green flag back in the air here in Iowa. Mike Skinner up front, but not for long. Battle to the inside.
Look at Austin Dillon down to the bottom of the track. They're 3 wide, and we just restarted.
Austin Dillon looking to the inside of that 5 of Mike Skinner. Wants to get back up front. He's been the dominant truck today.
3 wide, back for the 5th position.
Uh-oh. Truck in the middle is pushing up.
Ryan Eichler in that 18 trying to keep it down.
Donnie Leo was in jeopardy there.
Bounce off the wall. The 62, Greg Pursley, slides into the infield, and that brings out our 4th caution.
Yeah, he was just a victim. They got to racing really hard there. The 07 of Donnie Lee got to the wall. You see the damage on Brian Eichler's truck right there.
It looked like Eichler was real aggressive in the center of that turn and slid up into Donnie Lea a little bit. You see
there's Donnie Lea.
A lot of damage to that 07.
I'm not sure if it was maybe Donnie Lee that might have gotten to the outside wall first. Bounced off the wall into some other trucks.
Well, down in the center of 3 and 4, Eichler was all up into the side of the 07. I don't know if they ever made contact or not, but he definitely crowded him. Has Tom Bodine made contact with the wall?
Some damage to that 30. Maybe another truck got into the right side of that one.
A lot of damage. Here it is right here. Watch now. Watch the 07 of Donnie Lea. There's Todd, the 30. There's Donnie bouncing off the wall, and actually the 18 came across the left front corner of Todd's truck, so he was headed towards the outside wall while this happened.
But did Todd turn the 07?
Take another look.
Does Todd turn the 07 into the 18? Or the 8? Oh.
See, the 07, I think, got into the outside wall, and the 18 came across Todd's nose and turned himself into the outside wall.
I think the 07 was the least at fault. I don't know that he was going to have any issues. Todd's... Yeah, the 07's fine.
I'm not sure he was. I don't think the 07 hit the wall until the 18 forced him in the wall.
And he didn't let off either. He was having a good run off the corner. Todd stuck his nose into a very, very small hole, and we know how hard it is to keep these trucks down exiting the corner. Watch, Todd's in that little bitty gap there, man. You can't go there.
The 33 of Ron Hornaday just went behind the wall into the garage area.
He's got all kinds of left side damage, doesn't he?
So our top 4 in points, Todd Bodine, Eric Almirola, Timothy Peters, Ron Hornaday, all having problems today
that's going to tighten this points race up even more.
Well, this is a situation you said that now Eric Almirola doesn't feel quite as bad. Hornaday's had trouble.
He's getting better every minute.
And Todd Bodine now has had trouble and made contact with the wall.
But Phil, leading the points, the way that Todd is, you can't, that was a small area to be trying to stick your nose in. Sometimes it's better, especially just past halfway, to roll off the gas, let it sort itself out. He's got a stout truck. That has to be a mistake by that driver.
Take a look at the front end of the 33 of Hornaday. A lot of damage.
Wow.
They're trying to get the hood up.
They don't even look like they're in that big of a hurry to do so, Phil.
Sure don't. Looks like it had to have crushed the radiator back in behind that grill work.
Hey, can he get out?
They'll assess the damage. You just heard him ask the NASCAR official if he can get out of the truck. Might not have been a NASCAR official. It might have been part of the team saying, all right, what do you think? How long do we have?
Looks like it's going to be a little bit of time. And obviously now the laps are clicking away. So
let's take another look.
When they get seized up here, the 62 is going to slow. The 31 slowed down first. James Busher, he saw what was happening in front of him. And then the 62 of Greg Pursley slowed down, and Ron Hornaday, chain reaction deal, just ran in the back of the 62, and that's what sent him through the infield grass.
The further back you are, obviously, the less you can see. And Pursley was able to get woed up. Hornaday couldn't. And look at the damage to the front of that truck.
There's the names and numbers involved in this one. Donnie Leah, Brian Eichler, Todd Bodine, Hornaday, Pursley. You see the fluid coming out from underneath that race truck now.
Todd Bodine continues to come on and off of pit road. You see there, he's on to pit road.
Todd just got posted too fast entering pit road, so he'll have to serve that.
He doesn't care.
That's not much of a penalty either, really, because he'll just have to start the tail on the longest line.
He's needing to get to pit road in a hurry, or to his pit in a hurry to effect repairs. He doesn't mind the fact that he's speeding a little bit because he's going to start in the back anyway. They got to get that truck fixed.
Try to get it right. Todd Bodine, our point leader coming into this race. Ron Hornaday was 4th in the point standings. Problems for Eric Almirola and Timothy Peters, both behind the wall already.
Todd Bodine has the least amount of problems of all the people that you just mentioned, Rick. He looks like he can get that truck. He's definitely not going to have to go behind the wall. They're going to be able to get that truck squared away. The team continues to work on it every lap, as well as Greg Pursley.
Let's go down to Chris Devoto.
Guys, I'm actually in the garage watching the crew and Ron Hornaday, the driver, take a look at his race truck. It's actually a mess right now, and Hornaday, we don't have him yet. He's trying to help his crew out. I'm also back here listening to Todd Bodine on the radio, and as you said, he may have the least to lose, or at least be in the least damaging situation of all of these contenders, but you wouldn't know it by his voice on the radio. He is extremely upset, and I'm going to try to work my way in and actually see if I can talk to Ron Hornaday right now. I know he's taking his earplugs out, so I don't know if he can hear me, but I'm going to go ahead as his wife Lindy comes over. We'll see if we can get a word with Ron Hornaday. Ron, obviously the truck very beat up. What happened out there?
Well, it's not a good run for the Carl Chevrolet. I mean, we were terrible all day, and we made an adjustment. I thought we were a little better, but we were so far off. So just somebody checked up there. I mean, I got to the outside, and somebody shot low, and everybody was stopped in front. So we'll figure Iowa out pretty soon. We haven't run good here yet, but you know, Kenny's fighting the same problem we are. We're just really loose, and I thought we had it that time, but you never know.
Yeah, Kenny Schrader and Ron Hornaday both driving for Kevin Harvick Incorporated, both brought local sponsors, a couple local Chevrolet dealers on board this week.
So they're going to continue working on the 33 of Hornaday. Again, he's out of his truck. Todd Bodine has been off and on pit road numerous times under this caution. He actually got slapped in the hand, really. He was too fast near one of the safety vehicles when he came on, or getting onto pit road. That was the violation. It wasn't too fast on pit road. He was too fast around one of the safety vehicles.
He's made multiple pit stops, so he was going to restart the race from the tail end anyway. Here's another look at what happened.
Look at this little hole he tries to stick his nose in. And look at the mess that it causes by doing so.
See the 18 now. I think Todd may have thought that the 18 was gonna give him room, knowing that he was going to be in the middle there.
18 and 30. Might have been a little contact just moments ago on the racetrack.
Oh, I think the 18 probably brake checked Todd, mad about what happened, and Todd said, "Don't be doing that to me." But Todd's the one that suffered the most damage there. Yeah. Is he going to come back to the pit or just space him?
And they're posting the 30 right now. NASCAR has just posted the 30. So green flag back in the air. Skinner trying to battle with Austin Dillon up front. Crafton and Sauter running just behind him. Justin Lofton in the 7 running 5th.
Well, the posting of Todd Bodine may be the worst thing that's happened to him since that incident.
I don't know. The nose looks really messed up from the contact into the back of the 18 over there.
Great battle for the lead. Austin Dillon on the outside trying to wrestle the lead back away from Skinner.
Austin Dillon in clean air.
Skinner sideways.
So strong. He takes the lead away from Skinner. Here comes Johnny Sauter for second. Crafton's going to try to take third away from Skinner now on the bottom of the racetrack. So Mike Skinner having problems holding on to that race truck and holding on to positions.
Look how much momentum he lost by getting sideways there, as Michael was talking about. It cost him 3 positions.
Yeah, you can't. We talked about momentum here, Phil. He lost all of his just because he couldn't get his truck off turn 4. Meanwhile, our point leader, Todd Bodine, has been black flagged and is coming to pit road.
Todd Bodine will serve the black flag penalty as he comes onto pit road. Now it's a pass-through penalty for the 30 truck.
Again, this is not the kiss of death either, because he's going to be able to go back on the racetrack. Even if he gets lapped, which he probably will, he's going to be in a position for the lucky dog or the wave around. So this is not going to kill Todd Bodine's chances today.
Well, it's certainly something as a point leader you want to try to avoid. An incident on the front straightaway, maybe an over-aggressive move, and then got in an argument on the back straightaway with one of the guys involved in the wreck. Krista, what's happening?
Well, Todd Bodine actually came on the radio and asked his crew chief, Mike Hillman Jr., what is this penalty for? And they said for getting into the back of the 18. And he said he's the one who hit his brakes. So obviously some dissension and some frustration with Todd Bodine inside that number 30 right now.
And so strong. Todd Bodine was running well. I mean, he had a good truck.
A lot of things went wrong there for that 30 team
in a short period of time.
So Todd Bodine now scored 1 lap down in the 16th position. But again, his closest competitors all behind the wall. Eric Almirola, Timothy Peters, Ron Hornaday. Johnny Sauter, though, running second right now. Johnny Sauter coming into this one is 5th in the point standings, but 264 points back.
Caught a glimpse of Justin Lofton getting by Kenny Schrader. That was a battle for the 5th position. There's Stacy Compton, James Busher right now, right behind Kenny Schrader.
What about Stacy Compton? Very solid today, currently running in the 7th spot, racing along behind Schrader. You can see James Busher down on the bottom of the racetrack. That truck's been good low all day long, and he drives on the inside of Compton.
You know, if you're a point leader and you're going to have a bad day, this is probably a pretty good one to have a bad day. When 2nd, 3rd, and 4th have all had problems.
Seems similar to his championship run in 06 when he was battling with Johnny Benson, and both of them would seem to have problems at the same time.
Yeah, but that truck's damaged, guys. He just got passed by Jennifer Jo Cobb and Brett Butler. Brett, the fuel doctor truck, came off turn 2 and got under him, and Jennifer went right with him. So Todd's got some serious problems today.
Try to hang on to a top 20 finish for the 30 team. We see James Busher just behind Stacy Compton.
Battle for 7th. I just love the way James is running this track. We see guys mainly in the middle, but he likes to stick it right down on the bottom, and as an aggressive approach to the corner as well. Look how low he tucks. I think Stacy likes it too. He decided to go down there with him.
Busher looking to the inside now. Stacy Compton. See if he's got the momentum, which we've talked about is critical here at this racetrack, to get to the inside of that 60. James Busher not able to get to the driver's side door of Stacy Compton. Ray?
You know, Rick, earlier you were talking about this being a momentum racetrack. Well, guess what truck James Busher has today? The truck that they ran at Michigan earlier this season. A number of guys electing to bring super speedway style trucks here instead of short track trucks. But my question for Michael and for Phil, what is the strategy got to work out for James Busher? How many laps would you be willing to go into this race and still come in and put those sticker tires on and have a shot at getting the win?
Ray, I would like to see the caution around lap 150 so I could have about 50 laps to make up some ground. We only have 15 trucks right now on the lead lap. If the caution were to come out right now, then we would have a lucky dog and leave us 16 trucks. But remember, with the double foul restarts, when you're talking about restarting 16th, you're only in the 8th row. It's not like the old days.
Well, and the other thing about this, Phil, he is so good on these old tires. That makes me wonder how much an advantage those stickers he has down there on pit road will really be. He gives up a bunch of track position. You get inside 35, 40 laps to go. I don't know that those tires will be good enough to make up that much ground.
But remember, these other guys will have 80 to 90 laps on their tires too. So, you know, there may be a fall up way down the road. We haven't seen anyone run that long on these tires.
Right now, these tires are holding up great, though. Austin Dillon just ran a 24.36. That's about what he's been running
the whole race.
Exactly.
Dillon out front. His closest competitor, Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton, two teammates sitting second and third. Dillon looking for his first win in the series. Welcome back to Iowa Speedway and the Lucas Oil 200. Austin Dillon back out front. He's got a 3.2-second lead over Johnny Sauter. Matt Crafton back there in third. Mike Skinner and Justin Lofton making up our top 5.
It's been pretty much an Austin Dillon 200 so far here.
Yeah, and it's been fun to watch James Lofton. We saw him early in the race.
Justin.
I was hoping you wouldn't correct me.
I was wondering if you were going to go for Busher.
We saw Justin early in the race sideways down in the center of the corner. Almost lost that truck, but ever since then, just totally marching toward the front all the way up to the top 5. So great run for Justin. James Busher, too.
And just outside that top 5, Kenny Schrader running in the 6th spot. James Busher back there in 7th. Stacy Compton is 8th. Ricky Carmichael in the 9th position. And Greg Persley, one of our spotlights earlier today, in the top 10. He runs 10th right now.
I think it's going to be fun to see these tires. If we do get a caution, what happens with the James Busher truck? He's got those stickers on pit road. Could be a difference maker.
Completed 141 laps, now make it 142. So I think if I'm James Busher, I would like to see that caution fairly quickly so I can use those laps. Most of the leaders, including Austin Dillon, pitted back on lap number 106. So, you know, they're going to have around 90 laps when the caution laps out. Right now, we'll be able to figure it out.
Apparently you called for it. You got it, Phil.
Something's happened to Jason White down into turn 3.
Jay White in the 23, slow on the racetrack. He bounced off of the wall, and you see the right front down on that race truck.
His damage is not the same as we saw from the 2 Billy Ballou trucks. Those things were tore all to pieces. He must have just been exiting the corner when he lost his right front tire, scrubbed the outside wall, so he'll be able to get a tire.
Still a pretty good bit of damage, though, on that Gumbroker truck.
Now, Brian Eichler was able to get by the 30 of Todd Bodine, and so that makes Brian Eichler our Aaron's lucky dog as they go to work on the 23.
Now's an opportunity. As we see, the Aaron's lucky dog goes to Brian Eichler, but now's that opportunity for James Busher to come in and get those tires. He'll have about 35 laps less on his tires than will the rest of the field.
Now, that worked out perfectly for that team, wouldn't you say?
I
This
think
is
so.
exactly when I want those tires.
Within 5 laps of exactly when I would have wanted them.
57 laps remaining in this race.
And here he comes down pit road. All the leaders stay on the racetrack, and here comes James Busher.
Brings Greg Persley with him.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, not only do they need to change tires, they got to change the battery. You might wonder, why are they going to the left side? Well, they're going to get the battery pulled out of there because James said his voltmeter had dropped way down. So they know they only have enough time to get that battery changed in left side. They'll go back onto the racetrack, make sure they stay ahead of the pace car, then they'll come back down and get the right side tires put on there. It's going to put them back in the field, but they got to make sure they stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, he was going to be back in the field anyway, Ray. He and Persley, the only 2 lead trucks on pit road. So getting that battery changed right now, getting 4 tires, I like it.
The sun has come out. The fans are enjoying a great show. Austin Dillon is putting on a phenomenal show here at Iowa Speedway. Stay with us on Speed. Welcome back to Iowa Speedway. Take a look at our summer swing. What's coming up here on Speed for the Camping World Truck Series? We go to Gateway, ORP, another short track, and then Pocono for the first time for the Camping World Truck Series.
Yeah, and back to Darlington for the first time in a few years, and awfully excited to see the trucks back at Darlington.
Look at that, 3 races in 11 days. This schedule gets crazy. These guys are going to have a lot of beating and banging short track style coming up.
And so often, and during this stretch of the year is when we decide our champion. It may not He may not get crowned till November, but a lot of times it's decided during that stretch.
And remember, we're just 5 days away from our next race. So these guys have got a lot of turning around to do, getting ready for that Gateway race, because that's a Friday night race.
And these two tracks are a whole lot alike, so there's a chance a guy might have liked his truck here. He would want to take it to Gateway, and certainly Hornaday's not going to be able to do that. Look at these 2 point guys up in the points, tore all to pieces.
Along with Eric Almirola, Timothy Peters, just about everybody. Jason White was in the top 10 in points coming in. He's behind the wall right now.
The only ones that haven't really had problems today, Mike Skinner.
That's kind of the theme to the race today, isn't it? Those 2 trucks rolling off pit road tore up.
Yeah.
And Austin Dillon wearing them out. Another truck that's made a steady progression through the field, Phil, is Ricky Carmichael. He was about to get lapped when we had our first caution. I think he was the next truck to get lapped. Now he's worked his way all the way up into the top 10. He's got that truck running really well.
How about the tire monkey, Mario Gosselin, right now running in 10th position?
Yeah, he did get lapped. Got an Aaron's lucky dog, back on the lead lap. You can see that tire monkey truck weaving back and forth. He and Ricky Carmichael just getting any dirt on those tires, any grit rubbed off of them, so they're ready to go when they throw the green.
I mentioned Mike Skinner, one of the guys in the top 10 who hasn't had many problems today. Another guy, David Starr, is in the top 10 in our points and hasn't had much problems. And we haven't seen a lot of him today, but he's currently running in the top 10, and he's making his 250th Camping World Truck Series start. So a big monumental day for him.
David Starr, absolutely. And how about Johnny Sauter? Comes in here 5th in points. Now he was 264 behind when he came in, but he's going to gain a lot of ground. He may not move positions, but he's going to get a lot of ground if he can get to the end without trouble.
The whole championship changed faces today. I mean, the way these trucks have had problems, things have been rearranged. Todd had a lead that some people would have said, just take Matt Crafton, for example. He was over 300 points behind. He said, I can still win this championship. Well, he goes up there and gets a top 2 or 3 finish today with the problems that Todd has. All of a sudden, we have to say, darn, you may be right. You might be onto something.
Big players in our championship and where they're standing. Hornaday is 26th right now. Timothy Peters 27th. Eric Almirola 28th. There's your points as they run. Our top point guys having problems. There's Eric Almirola again coming in. He was 2nd in the point standing.
Hard hit in the outside wall. That truck did not return to the track.
Engine problems for Timothy Peters. He comes in here 3rd in points.
And then the problems, the melee on the front stretch.
Todd Bodine and Ron Hornaday both serious damage in that crash. Hornaday behind the wall. Todd returned to the track and had this happen.
Hornaday slams into the back of the 18. Got black flag for that. They came onto pit road, fixed the front as well as they could, and now it's about time for the green flag to come back out. Fans back on their feet. Green flag back out. Austin Dillon, Johnny Sauter, 1 and 2 across the stripe.
Johnny Sauter, now the first time he's been up there battling Austin Dillon on a restart. Austin right on the bottom.
Oh, look at the run. Johnny Sauter gets off turn 2. That's the first time we've seen somebody be able to make any progress with Austin Dillon. Sauter punches ahead off 2.
Great day for Thor Sport Racing. Johnny Sauter running 2nd. Right now, out in front of that 3 of Austin Dillon. Back there, his teammate Matt Crafton in the 88. Here comes Skinner in the 5.
I love what Skinner's done. Man, he's taken a truck that was marginal at best and driven it right to the front, battling for that top 5 spot.
50 laps of racing to go in Iowa. We're 3/4 of the way through this race. Johnny Sauter now out in front.
Had that big win earlier this year at Kansas. To go with the win he got last year at Las Vegas for his first career win.
And we will continue to talk about it probably for the history of the Camping World Truck Series, but 2 trucks completely at a 45-degree angle to the path that they were trying to go at Kansas. Johnny Sauter and the 33 of Ron Hornaday. Now we've got a battle for the lead. Here comes Austin Dillon once again.
Austin showing some patience.
You see him wiggle a little bit off turn 4 there. Tried to turn the truck down and make a hard run on Sauter, and it just wouldn't stick.
How much patience does Austin Dillon need to have right now? Because that truck has been so good all day. Does he just need to wait for an opportunity that Johnny Sauter gives him?
Well, you know, laps are running down. We're inside 50 to go. So, and he's been out front, so it's probably a little bit frustrating for him right now, Phil. He hasn't been in this position. He's going to want to grab that lead as quick as he can. But Sauter is running a line that is going to make it very difficult for Austin Dillon to complete that pass. We talk about momentum. He's going to be pinched down. It's going to be hard to get that run off the corner.
I think he met get it right now. Is he clear? Not quite. Remember, Austin hasn't been in dirty air this entire race till right now.
Wow,
he hasn't cleared.
He dives down into that third turn. He's not going to worry about him being on the outside when they exit like I talked about. He's going to clear him on the way in.
And by the way, those new tires on that 31 truck are starting to work. James Busher now has already made his way up to the 7th position in just a handful of laps.
And again, James Busher had to change the battery on that truck. So
there he is right there coming off turn number 2.
Started a little bit further back in the field, but again on lead lap trucks all start up front. So he didn't have as far to go to get back up to the front, but right now running well in the 7th position.
Those double foul restarts are so good in so many ways. We talk about it. The restarts are more exciting. It gives an opportunity for somebody like James Busher to come in with some pit strategy, save some tires, know that he doesn't have to restart 32nd in line. He can restart 16th in line.
And it's so much better for the fans. The people that are racing each other are all grouped together. You know, you got the lead lap trucks in the front. You got the lap down trucks behind those guys. They're not side by side, all mixed up.
James Busher still trying to march through this field, right?
Go Ray.
We'll take a look at the speeds at the line before we get back with Ray.
Hey Ray, we're going to take a look at the speeds at the line.
Austin Dillon out in front. How's he doing against his closest competitor?
I got a feeling he's going to be the fastest truck.
By far, by the way.
There's James Busher right there, 3rd quickest of the lead lap trucks.
You know, Johnny probably thought, man, I got something for him now. My truck's got tires, got a little heat in them. I'm ready for Austin Dillon. Gets the lead on the restart, and then now he's thinking, where did he go? He's driving away.
And now the next truck that James Busher wants to get by is that number 2 of Ken Schrader.
Well, their strategy is working, Phil. That's the 2nd fastest truck. He's the only one that's running anywhere near the speeds that Austin Dillon's running, and he's doing it in traffic. So I like what Busher's team did. That was a smart call. It could possibly get him a 2nd place finish.
If he can get
We're not thinking win at this point.
No, we're not. We're just thinking we'd be happy with a 2nd. He drives around Schrader on the outside. That'll get him up to the 6th spot. Justin Lofton just up ahead in the white truck. You can see he's right on the back of all the trucks that are in the top 5, with the exception of the black number 3, who is driven well away.
He's about 4.5 seconds ahead of James Busher right now.
Now that we've seen the speeds at the line, let's see what Ray thought of that. Ray?
Sorry about that, guys. When you were throwing it down to me, I had pulled my headset off to talk to Bud Hafele, the crew chief for Matt Crafton, and I asked him what his thoughts were about that tire strategy. He said there's no way that we could possibly have pulled that kind of a stunt. He said we had such a good truck, we really felt like we were possible winners here, and we had to stay on our original strategy. But then he gave me a little smirk and said they might be onto something.
Hey Ray, don't pull your headset off anymore. we like it when we can just go right to you. You've got all the stories down there on pit road.
I'm telling you, Bud talked about them being a potential winner. I don't think he's watched this 3 truck in this race.
Well, so many people were pointing their fingers at the 3 as far as the class of the field.
You know, Greg Persley's been into the wall once. We saw him up in turn 1 and 2. Then he got booted in the rear end, tore the heck out of Hornaday's truck. Couldn't have done his truck any good. Slid through the grass on the front straightaway. By the way, running in the 9th spot. Great run.
Trying to get that 8th spot away from Ricky Carmichael in the Monster Chevrolet.
Ricky's just a top 10 guy nowadays, isn't he, Phil? Every time
every week.
Rolls off, top 10.
Chris Devoto.
She must have pulled her headset off.
No, she would never do that, Krista.
No, well, actually, I was talking to some of the fans here at the Iowa Speedway, but not this time. This time, I was actually listening to the number 3, Danny Stockman, the crew chief, telling his driver, Austin Dillon, once he got back out in front, he said, now just keep doing what you've been doing all race. Just stay calm, stay poised. He also, though, did remind him, we may need to start saving fuel. That could become an issue. But when he asked Austin, how is the truck, Austin responded with one sentence, it's perfect.
Don't you just love It's Always Something? Austin just leading the race. He's so happy. I got this, baby. Austin, save us a little gas.
Yeah.
Then he's thinking, oh,
wait
no.
a minute.
What do you mean? Why didn't y'all put more in it? Why'd I have to do that?
I would almost say, could that be a little bit of strategy from a crew chief saying don't push it?
No,
too hard.
No, because they pitted on lap number 106. Remember, we said our pit window was somewhere between 90 and 100.
So his fears are real. They're just.
Real. They're just. Well, His grandfather, Richard Childress, came from Chicago to watch this race. It's a good one to pick to see because Austin Dillon could go to victory lane today in Iowa. Welcome back to Iowa Speedway. Yes, that is the 6th caution of the day. This one for debris.
Good and bad news for Austin Dillon. Good news is he can save a little fuel under this caution. The bad news is he had over a 2-second lead, and now it's gone.
Yeah, he's going to have to battle Johnny Sauter once again on the restart.
And you remember on the last restart, Johnny was able to get around him. So, and it looked like their times had pretty much stabilized once Austin got out about 2 seconds. Whether he was indeed saving some fuel or if Johnny had gotten better, they were running about the same lap times. And Phil, you know this, sometimes as a race car driver, when they tell you to start saving fuel, you go a little faster. You start letting off and rolling into the corner, and you actually pick up speed. And so that could have been the case for Austin. He let off the gas and he kept a pretty good pace up.
So just 27 laps of racing remaining from Iowa Speedway. We're going to slip away quickly and be back for an exciting finish to the Lucas Oil 200. And welcome back to a sunny Newton, Iowa, and the Iowa Speedway for the Lucas Oil 200. Just 25 laps remaining in this one. Out in front, Austin Dillon. Can he hold off the 13 of Johnny Sauter? You see Brian Eichler on pit row. They're doing a little work to that race truck as he gets the Aaron's Lucky Dog. He'll be back on the lead lap, so that puts 15 trucks on the lead lap. While we were at break, a few trucks did make it onto pit road. Let's go down to Chris DeVota.
Wanted to let you know what Mike Skinner did and why they came in. Well, they pitted back on lap 106, but they did not take tires. They had taken fuel only back then, and right before that caution came out, Mike Skinner had started to slide back. When the caution did come out, he said, "Yep, boys, we burned our tires off. We're coming in for 4." Ray?
His teammate David Starr did the same thing, Krista, only a little different strategy. They put on the tires that they had used in their first round of pit stops. They had pitted on lap 41. They re-glued up that set, put them back on, and David's hoping he can march back to the front. He'll start one position ahead of his teammate, Mike Skinner.
Yeah, those tires had 40-some laps on them, Phil. These tires he has on now are getting up around 60 or 70, so he just went for a little bit fresher tires. Jason White, after scrubbing the outside wall, has made it back to the track.
Jason White scored in the 23rd position. He's 32 laps down.
As a matter of fact, the 22nd place truck right now is Norm Benning, who's only 6 laps down, so he actually cannot gain any positions by staying on the racetrack.
But
he can stay ahead around Hornaday, and that's really all he can do. But that's 3 points.
Yeah, he wants those 3 points. He has fallen out of the top 10 back to 11th, so you want to preserve all you can.
Let's take a look at our Dodge save of the race.
Can we call these saves? I guess he kept going, so yes, we'll go with save. Watch this. He jumps the cushion here, gets a little high loose in the corner, corrects, and gets into the outside wall. That looks like pretty good contact, but not a lot of damage. Then watch this, Phil.
Yeah, he's gonna get a lot of damage. He's gonna get nerfed in the back by Ron Hornaday and sent into the infield grass, but he has persevered. Has been running in the top 10 consistently. There's a good battle right there with the 4 of Ricky Carmichael earlier.
He is back in the race. He's currently 7th, and that was our Dodge save of the race.
Yeah, he drove around Ricky Carmichael just before that caution came out, so personally he's got a good truck. That's fun to see, isn't it? Guy that's been racing in the weekly racing series, coming to Iowa with a chance to race on one of the big stages in NASCAR and run in the top 10.
How about the row behind them? You've got Ryan Segan, the 39, and the tire monkey of Mario Goslin, both with top 10 runs going. Nice job by both those teams.
Randy Kaiser takes the pace truck back on to pit row. That puts the field back in the hands of Austin Dillon. Johnny Sauter on the inside, so Dillon chooses the outside line. Let's see if he can make it work for him.
Well, last time Sauter took the lead from the outside, so Austin said, I know how to fix that.
Sauter with another great restart, trying to battle Austin Dillon on the inside of the track. Let's see how he does through 3 and 4.
Yeah, so much more experience Johnny Sauter has over the Austin Dillon, but I think Austin Dillon just has the truck, and he's really showing some maturity beyond his years. And he really has all year. He's just gotten better and better and better all year long.
What a great kid he is too, Rick. Last night we had him in the booth and talked to him. He helped us with the ARCA race, talking about his little brother. You can just see he has a lot of respect for this sport. Certainly Richard Childress and the family that he grew up around loves NASCAR racing. I think Austin has the same appreciation for the history of the sport, and certainly can drive the wheels off his truck, driving away from these guys.
Austin Dillon, his career best finish is 3rd. That was at Texas earlier this year. Krista.
Well, down here in the 3 pit, there was a lot of debate before that restart on whether Austin Dillon was going to take the inside or the outside on that restart. Danny Stockman said, well, you know, the outside's been pretty good, but you've been good on the inside. He left it up to the driver. He said, you're the one driving this thing. You make the call.
Schrader, an aggressive move around the outside of Matt Crafton. You know, we watch Schrader, he just tiptoes through the first halves of these races, but when it comes down to it, he's ready to go, making the move around the outside of Crafton, trying to grab that 6th spot away from him.
He's been in that truck a couple times previous. He finished 9th at Kansas, had a top 5 run, finished 5th at Texas, looking for a little bit more today.
Yeah, he's going, that's actually for the 5th spot. He drives up into the top 5 here late in the going.
And behind him, 10th, 11th, and 12th. You see David Starr in that battle with Stacy Compton in the 60.
Mario Goslin in the 12 truck right in front of them. Mario holds down that 10th spot right now. See, Stacy started back in the 3rd spot. Been very consistent this year. A couple top 10 finishes already for Stacy in 5 starts.
17 laps to go. What a great story for that 12 of Mario Goslin a year ago, fighting just to make it to the racetrack and try to put his name out there so someone would maybe take a chance with him. And Tire Monkey comes on board and says, you know what? I like what you're doing. I like the process you're taking to get to the highest level of racing. I'd like to help you out. Now, battling for a top 10 position here at Iowa, Stacy Compton looking to the inside.
What a run Stacy Compton got from through the center of that corner and off it. He just drove by the 81 of David Starr. Now he's trying to get Mario.
He's going to get Mario. That truck's coming alive here late in the going.
Remember, he's one of the trucks that came down pit road on this most recent caution flag.
Ricky Carmichael just in front of the 60 of Stacy Compton. Carmichael running 9th, Compton 10th. Goslin in 11th, David Starr in 12th. Now Dillon has a 1.4 second lead over Johnny Sauter.
That's a great battle right there for 6th, 7th, and 8th. James Busher has not been able to advance beyond this 6th position with these new tires. Mike Skinner has new tires now. He's going to get by the 62 of Greg Persley. That is for the 7th position.
You know, Persley was on the inside of Busher, lost his momentum. Here comes Skinner and takes that spot away from him. And like you said, Phil, those fresher tires that Skinner's got on is paying off here late in the going.
Not sure.
Oh, Mario sideways.
Goslin up into the marbles, but keeps it off the wall. Checks up just a bit.
That's a nice save. Ryan Seek's going to be able to get by in the 39 truck.
Going to go from 11th to about 13th in one corner, though, Phil.
That was a kick save and a beauty by Mario.
Hey.
I knew it was going to move to hockey.
From the Nordiques.
I'm heading to Canada when we're done doing this, you know.
Are you?
Yeah. A little dirt racing.
Excellent.
North of the border, eh?
A guy who does a lot of dirt racing, the driver of that number 2, Ken Schrader.
He raced Friday night. He raced Friday night on dirt here locally.
He moved to the outside of the racetrack. He was able to get Crafton by doing so. Now Matt's making a little bit of progress on getting back to Schrader. Let's see what happened to Mario. Just sideways down in the center of the corner.
Had to chase it, chased it all the way up the hill, kept it out of the outside fence.
You don't think Starr nudged him, do you?
That was over the tunnel, too. Is there a possibility maybe that bump upset the truck?
Down there in the tunnel turn.
The tunnel turn at Iowa. Mario Goslin currently running 13th. Again, he was running 10th. He's had a little bit of a problem holding on to that position. As Compton got by, Carmichael up in front of him. David Starr got by him. Ryan Sieg also in the 39 got by Mario Goslin. There you see the difference between the 2 and the 88.
Schrader's running in the 4th spot. That's Crafton back in 5th. Krista, what are they saying in the 2 pit?
Well, actually, I happen to know the secret of why Ken Schrader is running so good here. He's never been in a truck at this track, but he was one of the first drivers to actually be on the track. A charity event back in 2006 before the track ever opened. Ken Schrader did some of the first pace laps here at this track. I don't know if it would equal a top 5 finish in a truck, but he's looking pretty good right now.
Very strong, running fourth right now is Ken Schrader, and we see the 88 of Matt Crafton just behind him in the 5th spot.
Austin Dillon jumped out to about a second half to a 2-second lead and then just stayed there.
There's a couple of themes to this race. That black 3 leads a lot, and there's a lot of guys having solid runs that it's fun to see them marching up into the top 10. You got Ricky Carmichael, another top 10 run for him. Greg Pursley back in the 9th spot. Stacy Compton solid. James Busher up to 6th. Justin Lofton, a great
third.
Run for that truck.
Could equal his career best. Certainly. He got back at Dover.
A lot of good stories. We saw Mario Goslin in the top 10. Sieg, Star racing along with him. Chris Eggleston's taken a rave around, a lucky dog, and parlayed that all into a top 15 run so far.
And Brian Eichler's got a couple lucky dogs and ends up with a top 15 run going.
They've been in a wreck.
Big time.
Yeah.
Austin Dillon trying to make this story all about him this weekend, although his brother tried to steal the limelight last night when he ran in the ARCA Racing Series.
To better his younger brother, he's going to have to win the race. Ty started on the pole in the ARCA Racing Series race, finished second. Austin started on the pole, and the only way he can top Ty is to win the thing.
Get to victory lane.
The last couple of laps, Sauter's closed some ground. He's got that thing down to just a little over a second. We saw that lead up to close to 2 seconds. 1.29 that last time by, so I know Austin's probably saving a little bit of gas and taking it easy. He's only got to make 6 more laps, but Johnny's keeping him honest. Johnny Sauter's the first truck in his rearview mirror. He can see him back there.
Coming up to the stripe, it'll be 5 laps of racing to go for Austin Dillon. The last time the number 3 in the trucks went to victory lane, it was Brian Reffner at Texas back in 2000.
And that was not an RCR number 3 truck. That was actually a Menards number 3
John
truck.
Menard owned the truck, and it went to victory lane again in 2000 with Brian Reffner behind the wheel. Now can Austin Dillon, with just 4 laps to go, get to victory lane for the first time in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
Johnny Sauter lobs another 1/10 of a second off of his lead. You see Austin running up the high side of the racetrack, getting around Eichler, putting him a lap down.
Jason White is slow up ahead of these trucks, coming off of turn number 4.
Not up to speed as he crosses the stripe just in front of the 3. He's got a right front tire down.
That may bring some debris on the racetrack.
And the caution comes out, so he's going to have to do it one more time. Can Austin Dillon hold off Johnny Sauter? It looks as though we will have potentially a green-white checkered finish in Iowa.
Well, it's definitely going to be green-white checker, and right now there could be nobody any more disappointed than that bunch right there on the Bass Pro Shops toolbox.
Just in front of the 3 of Austin Dillon, the right front tire goes down for Jason White, and that brings out our 7th caution of the day.
Right in front of the, right down the front straightaway, you could see when that tire blew, a lot of debris coming off of the right front of Jason's truck.
NASCAR had no choice but to throw the caution. I mean, there was absolutely nothing they could do about it. What a horrible, potentially horrible break for Austin Dillon after dominating this race. But hey, that's why we run the full distance on these things, maybe even a little bit over.
Let's see how smart
rate just went up.
Let's see how smart you guys are. Do you choose the inside line or do you choose the outside line?
Outside for sure.
Outside worked for him the last time. Johnny Sauter had a really good restart.
And remember, he's in control of the start, too.
Look at all that debris going onto the racetrack. Yeah. So like you said, Phil, the only thing I don't like about the outside is he puts himself a little bit in Johnny Sauter's jeopardy. Johnny goes down in the corner and wants to wash up a little bit. Then what's he going to do? He's going to get run into and pushed out of the groove. So that's one negative to being up on top.
Brian Eichler, our Aaron's lucky dog, he'll get back on the lead lap, so that'll put it back to 15 trucks on the lead lap.
Remember, Johnny Sauter started on the outside, got the lead. Austin Dillon started on the outside of Johnny Sauter, and he got the lead. So.
But this is a green-white checker. So
okay.
When you go racing for a checkered flag, then maybe the game changes a little bit. Maybe Johnny Sauter gets a little bit more aggressive when you put him down on the inside of you.
The other thing that comes into play, Justin Lofton, Ken Schrader are in row 2. You know that the 13 of Johnny Sauter is going to be aggressive. He wants this win just as bad as anybody else on the racetrack. Will he get it by trying to push the 3 out of the way and using 8 tires?
That's a good question, Rick, and it's going to be fun to see, because I believe in my heart that if Austin picks the outside, which I agree with you guys, that's the fastest lane. That's where he ought to go. But he'll have his hands full with Johnny Sauter down on the bottom, and if Johnny wallers up into Austin, then here comes Justin Lofton. The door's open on the bottom.
Hey, and Kenny Schrader's back there too, and this is not his first rodeo.
No, and Kenny Schrader's fast. He was closing in on the top three trucks when the caution fell. It looked like he's going to have a shot to make a run on Justin Lofton when the caution came. So this is shaping up to be very interesting.
And we're glad you're here with us on Speed to enjoy this, the 10th race of the season for the Camping World Truck Series.
Did you remember that we're saving a little gas too? Oh, by the way, it's overtime.
We're going to overtime in the Camping World Truck Series from Iowa Speedway. Stay with us. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World. The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. Camping World is offering more prizes and more chances to win. Visit campingworld.com and enter today. By the AARP Auto and Home Insurance Program from the Hartford. And by Toyota.
We're in Newton, Iowa, and we're coming to overtime. And you know what I love about double file restarts? Austin Dillon had to pull over to the right and let the guy running second drive right up beside him. They're going to go down in the first turn side by side. Austin was leading the race, but not anymore. It's a tie at this moment.
Yeah, I think it's the right call.
The last restart, Austin Dillon chose the outside line. The driver that is leading the race has the opportunity. He can start either inside or outside. The first restart that he had Johnny Sauter, he had him on the outside. Well, Sauter took the lead. So the next restart, he decided, I better go to the outside, and he was able to hold on to that lead.
But he only did it by squeeze. You know, Johnny tried to squeeze him a little bit off turn 2, and Austin put his nose in the hole and made it work.
I think he needs to do something different. He needs to mix it up a little bit. Obviously within the rules, within the zone.
We're about to find out. The field
Justin Lofton to the pits.
Justin Lofton turns hard left. Green flag in the air. Johnny Sauter with a great restart. Austin Dillon to the stripe first. We'll see how he does through 1 and 2.
I think Johnny Sauter right now is more concerned with his teammate maybe. He pulled down to block him. Austin's going to get the run off the corner.
There goes Austin Dillon. He has the run. Here comes the 88 of Crafton for second.
He's down at the bottom of the racetrack. Can he hold it down there? It looks like Crafton can hold it off Sauter. Sauter gets a run off the turn.
This time by. White flag will fly. Austin Dillon has the white flag. 1 lap to go for Dillon.
We know the next flag is going to end this thing.
And look at Dillon putting distance between himself and second place Johnny Sauter. Austin Dillon looking to become the second youngest driver to find victory lane in the Camping World Truck Series. Coming out of turn number 4, we've got another first-time winner in the Camping World Truck Series. Austin Dillon wins at Iowa.
And look at the crowd. They love seeing that black 3 truck take the checkered flag. Great job, Austin.
You heard a woo-hoo.
You called him. Hell of a job, Austin Dillon. You are the man, buddy. Hell of a job, 3 guys right here. It's all you.
I think it was a great call going to the outside on that restart.
What a great choice to take the outside line, and a great restart by Austin Dillon. Coming out of turn number 2, he surged ahead of the 13 of Johnny Sauter and gets his first ever win in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
And the good news is they're taking that same truck to Gateway next week.
Let the celebration begin for that 20-year-old. Now let's go and hear from the crew chief. He's with Krista.
And the first thing he said was, don't blow those quarter panels off. We're taking that truck to Gateway. I know when I talked to you a few laps before that finish, you said you were about sick up here, Danny Stockman. Your first win as a crew chief, that black 3 is going back to victory lane.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I just worked my whole life for this, man. And it's just 2 rookies out here trying to compete for wins, and it's just awesome. That's all I can say. I've worked my whole life for this, my mom and dad and everybody at home. I just want to thank everybody and thank the Lord for everything they're doing for us right now.
And does this validate the move over to RCR?
Definitely. I've been telling the Dillons and Richard and everybody, this is the time of my life right now, and I'm eating it up right now. Thank you very much.
And any gas left to get to victory lane?
We're good. We're good on fuel there.
All right, and that was what I was going to ask Danny a few laps from that finish, and that was what he told me. He looked at me and said, I'm going to be sick.
You don't see that very often, Phil. He parked his truck about, I don't know, 60 yards past the start-finish line, got out and walked back
I'm not
to the
sure
flag
he's not
stand.
out of gas.
Look at that. Celebration from Danny Stockman. And he mentioned 2 rookies. His first win. Here's Austin climbing out of that truck. Oh, what fun.
What a weekend for the Dillon family.
What an amazing weekend. His brother finished second in the ARCA Racing Series last night. Now he starts on the pole. It's his 3rd consecutive pole in the trucks. He's been dominant on 2 laps, and now he led today 3 times for 187 laps. A dominant performance by Austin Dillon, taking Bass Pro Shops and at number 3 to victory lane. We're going to hear from him in just a moment. Stay with us here on Speed. He's going to be in victory lane in just a moment. And just moments ago, the 20-year-old climbs out of the truck. The fireworks begin, and the celebration will begin in victory lane. Let's hear from the young man. Chris DeVota's down there.
A lot of high fives, a lot of smiles, but I would imagine there's a little bit of sense of relief. Your 3rd straight pole, but your first time to victory lane. When did you know in this race that you would be standing here today?
Man, my guys have done awesome all year. They built fast trucks. We just had little mistakes that hurt us all year. I got to thank Bass Pro Shops. You know, they stepped up and helped us out this year and enabled us to run for the points. And I got to thank Johnny Morris. I'm real close to him and his family. And my guys are awesome. I mean, this truck was awesome. And that last restart, man, I was like, man, I knew it wasn't going to be that easy. So I told my grandfather, he kept telling me which line to choose. And I was like, man, it's all right. We're going to win the race. Got to have confidence. And that's what we had. And I had a Bible verse in here. I got to thank God, and I looked at it right before that last restart, and I think it gave me the strength to go to the front.
Yeah, we heard you say that. Your grandfather, Richard Childress, came on. You guys were talking about grip, which one was going to be better, and you did say, we're going to win this race. I see a lot of emotion. You're a young guy. Why does this mean so much? You still have a long racing career. Was there pressure on your shoulders with the Childress name to get here to victory lane?
I just want to do it for the fans, and it's 3. This 3 is a good number to run, and I'm glad I'm running. I feel very fortunate, and, man, I want to win a lot, and this is the first one of many, hopefully.
What does it mean, too? I mean, obviously, every fan knows what the black number 3 stands for, to be on the pole, to lead the field to green here in this race, and to finally to dominate, to lead so many laps. Look at all these drivers who are coming over to congratulate you as well. We've seen Hornaday. We see Ricky Carmichael, Todd Bodine. The line continues, Mike Skinner. And then here comes his grandfather, Richard Childress, to come in and give congratulations again. And there is a lot of similarities. I know in no way is it the same sort of scale or scope as Dale Earnhardt winning the Daytona 500. But when you see Richard Childress and Grandma Judy saying congratulations to their grandson. Richard, let's go ahead and get your thoughts. And Austin told us you came on the radio. I heard your voice come on before that final restart. I heard your voice come on the radio before that final restart telling him to keep calm, and he said, we're going to win this race.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he did a great job. The whole team did. I'm so proud of them, and thank Johnny Morris. I mean, man, if he hadn't jumped in and helped us, it'd be tough. But really proud of them, I tell you. They did a great job.
Richard, last week you were standing in Daytona's victory lane with a Wrangler number 3. You're back in victory lane now in the Truck Series with a black number 3. It's a little bit surreal, and this time, I know you thought of Dale Earnhardt like a brother, but this is your own blood.
Yeah, I mean, it's special. It really is, and, you know, Dale would be proud. I got pictures of Dale holding him in winner's circle, and he would be proud today seeing Austin do this. It's just wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Rick?
Thanks, Krista. What a big weekend. I mean, Richard Childress has got to be one of the proudest grandfathers of all time. Ty Dillon last night, after winning the pole, finished second in the ARCA Racing Series race. And then today, he makes the trip from Chicago to watch Austin Dillon take on this short track here in Iowa. And Austin, after starting on the pole, grabs his first Camping World Truck Series win.
Let's give a shout out to Mike and Tina, too. Yeah. They're home watching us on TV. Mike and Tina, congratulations. You have a great family.
Spectacular weekend in Iowa for the Dillon family. Stay with us. Spectacular crowd on hand, actually in victory lane to celebrate with Austin Dillon getting his first ever NASCAR Camping World Truck Series win. And look at the trophy he's hoisting up in victory lane. A spectacular day for Austin Dillon. A great day for Thor Sport Racing as well. Let's go down to Ray.
And Rick, they finished second and third. Good run today, Johnny Sutter. You know how fun it is to get your first victory lane, right?
Yeah, for sure.
hats off to those guys. They obviously had the dominant truck. But those double file restarts, you know, the leader controls the pace, and he kind of went, and so I took off, and I looked over, and I didn't see him there, and I was afraid I'd get a penalty if I beat him to the line. So I had to let up a little bit, and obviously Crafton got down there, and I was just trying to protect my spot at that time. But couldn't be more proud of all the guys on this Curb Records Funds. Kyle Chevrolet dealers, they're a local dealership here, and you know, just man, when you get that close, like I said a couple weeks ago when we finished second at Texas, you just want to win them, but nonetheless, it wasn't meant to be. So solid points day for us. I think all the guys in front of us had trouble, so just super proud of all the guys at ThorSport. What a great day for us.
Okay, second place for Johnny Sauter.
And he mentioned a good points day for us. Todd Bodine now has an 88-point lead over Eric Almirola. Johnny Sauter, 201 points back. Ron Hornaday, Timothy Peters, again, Almirola, Hornaday, Peters, all had problems on the racetrack. At one point in time, Hornaday was behind the wall. Almirola ended up behind the wall. Peters also behind the wall. Let's go back down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Crafton, Schrader, and Johnny Sauter all talking it over down here about your day. Anything you would have changed if you could redo this race?
Yeah, make a little adjustment on that last one. On the second last run, we were free, and I didn't have them adjust anything, but that last set of tires was just tight, got tight on me, and then I got hung on the bottom on them restarts, and it killed me. Until that last restart, it worked all right. But I tried to shoot him 3 wide down here, and then I got underneath Johnny, and it was going to be ugly. I drove it down in 3, and we about wrecked it. But all in all, I mean, these guys, like I said, built a brand new truck. I mean, can't thank these guys enough. Menard Chevy was pretty good today, but that 3 was awesome.
Okay, 2 good races for Matt Crafton, ARCA and trucks here at Iowa.
We're just 5 days away from the next race for the Camping World Truck Series, where we'll head to St. Louis and take on Gateway. That's another tricky little racetrack.
Absolutely, and Austin Dillon will be taking the exact same truck that he used to win tonight.
I guess you'd call that momentum.
Absolutely.
Keep the momentum up. Started up front today for Austin Dillon. As I mentioned, the next race, the Camping World 200 from Gateway International Raceway. Problems for Billy Ballou Racing. Both trucks into the wall early in this one, but no problems for RCR and Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon, the dominant truck, leading over 180 laps today on way victory lane.
Next week, the Camping World Truck Series visits the Gateway to the West, St. Louis, Missouri. Last year, the gunslinger, Mike Skinner, entered the Gateway as a winner after winning in Iowa and left with back-to-back wins. See if Skinner will get his first win of 2010, or who else can find victory lane. Chris Devoda hosts the setup starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by flag-to-flag coverage, only on Speed.